Hello, and welcome to the A's and B's of Horror. I'm your host, Jim, and with me, as always, is
Mark.
And joining us today is Cory.
Hello.
Hi, Cory.
How are you today, Cory?
Pretty good. I just worked my last day at my job, and thank God, I'm happy. So
Last day forever, or just for the weekend?
no. Last day forever. I worked at Walmart for 4 years, and I put my 2 weeks in last week, so I'm done with them. So I'm excited.
So on to bigger and better then.
Yes, absolutely.
Fantastic. We're very happy for you then.
So, Cory,
Thank
this is
you.
probably like the best day of your life, leaving your job and being on this podcast. I mean, wow.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's great. That hell I deal with, and coming to this is awesome.
Well,
Yeah.
we've only started, so I would just wait till the end.
Okay. You do have to put up with Mark for as much as you stay in this conversation. So
That's
my
fine.
apologies.
It's all good.
So, Cory, we have you on, number one, because we've been Facebook friends for a long time.
Yes.
I noticed that you are a thespian.
Yeah.
Last week we had an author on, so I thought it would be fun to have an actor on. And you're not only an actor, but a writer and a producer. Is that right?
Yes, that is right. This is something I just kind of fell into. I just wanted to act, but come to find out, I had all these different. It just piqued my interest once I got into the business, and then I just started writing and producing, and apparently pretty good at casting too. So yeah.
So it's funny. I was looking through your IMDb, and I saw you were on Snapped.
Yes.
And that is like one of my wife's favorite programs, and I'm like, you've probably seen Cory way more than I ever have.
Oh yeah. Hold on, guys. I've been on there. Good grief, probably 3 times playing 3 different characters. Yeah, it's definitely helped me a lot to be in front of the camera and just to to experience things like that. So yeah, it's to be on shows like that and Sins of the City and things and all these different reenactment shows has really helped me as an actor to get more comfortable.
Right. I mean, the more you do it, the easier it is, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and actually, the more I do it, I get more of appreciation for what the crew does and how they set certain scenes up and things like that. It's just like, holy crap, they really I'll get there about maybe 2 or 3 o'clock, but they've been there since 4 or 5 in the morning. Trying to set up. This is so what they do is it's an unappreciative job, but I have so much respect for what they do, and it's just really cool to see what they do.
Yeah, it's parallels, Cory, with this podcast as Jim has to do all the editing, and I just sit here and talk nonsense.
Yeah, he does all the work. You just kind of come and just do whatever and just leave, basically.
My back is killing me every day from having to carry this show, Mark.
Oh, wow.
Oh, see, Cory, I need another sane voice on here.
Yeah, I got you.
Why do you have one?
Oh,
steady.
I should have got my popcorn. This is you guys saw.
Yeah. Sit down for this one. So, Cory, I see you've got 10 roles or listings on IMDb. So that must be pretty cool. I mean, I'm somebody that obviously watches a lot of movies, and you see somebody in a movie and you go to IMDb and oh, look, there they are. Oh, they've been in that, and you go down that kind of rabbit hole. So whenever you first got onto IMDb, was that kind of crazy for you?
Sorry, what was the question?
The first time you were on IMDb, whenever you got your page.
Oh yeah. It was Chases for a Dream because the guy who I work with, Bruce, he decided to make one, and I was just kind of like, well, dang, if you're gonna put me out there, I might as well get this thing started. So once he did that, I looked up my name, I got it set up, and that was literally my first credit. And I looked at that, and I was like, holy crap, this is actually happening. It just kind of became a reality. Yo, I'm really doing this. Right. So ever since then, I just, whatever I could find, I put up there, and I still, to this day, it still kind of amazes me at the stuff that, I've done and that I'm going to do. It's just kind of crazy seeing that.
Right. I also noticed, and I know you've been talking about it. I think I watched a little bit of the Shape.
Yes.
So Jim is a huge Halloween fan.
Oh, nice.
He loves every single Halloween movie, especially the Rob Zombie ones, right, Jim?
Okay, first things first, Cory, he's full of shit. I do appreciate the first two in the entire canon of Halloween. I appreciate Halloween 3 as a standalone film.
Okay.
And I really appreciated the 2018 Halloween.
Okay,
and hated Halloween Kills.
I get you. And sorry to say, from what I've heard, you'll probably hate Halloween Ends.
I'm afraid I will too. But
Yeah,
that's okay.
Yeah,
I will say that the Rob Zombie movies are straight garbage, and I will never watch them again.
I will say, two definitely was. I was just kind of like, after the movie was over, I was kind of like, okay. the first one, I'll give him credit for trying something different and giving Michael a backstory. But yeah, as a whole, wasn't the biggest fan of it because like every character seemed to be unlikable. And I'm like, can I have somebody that I can root for in this freaking thing? Of course, Danielle Harris, but I have a crush on her. But everybody else is just trash. So I get where you come from with that. And honestly, the Halloween franchise isn't really my favorite. So, there's some that I do come back to, but it's not my favorite out of the big three, at least.
So, how did you become involved with the Shape?
Jordan Fraley, who's the director, made this post saying that he was going to do a Halloween short, and at that time, I was just kind of like, well, I was just going there and say, hey, I'm interested and everything like that, and me and him just got into a conversation, and then he started to get more actors, and then when it went from like being a short to a feature because of the conversations that me and him had about the character. So like he wrote the script and everything, but what was cool about Jordan is the fact that he let me improv, which is when I improv, I'm at my absolute best. And like, I actually got the chance to know the character. My character's name is Lee. So I was actually able to, play him and just tell his story. And you'll see it when it comes out. It'll come out on Halloween, actually. And it was just a lot of fun. It was one of those roles that I was like, yo, this is why I became an actor. I had so much fun playing it. And it's just when you see it, it's like, not only does it have, horror and it's got some great kill scenes, but there's like comedy and there's drama with it. And it's probably one of the best fan films that I've seen because there's not a lot of great Michael Myers fan films out there. But I think this one is going to be really good. And I can't wait for people to see it.
I'll say it'll probably be one of my favorite entries into the Halloween franchise.
Definitely. But also, though, I have a friend named Cody Huskins, and he does a lot of cosplay. And he has a Texas Chainsaw one he's done like a fan film, and he also has a Halloween one of a Michael Myers one that looks pretty interesting too. And I think that comes out on Halloween as well, and it looks really good. And he's using the one from Curse of Michael Myers, which you haven't seen a lot of that version of Michael Myers. So I think that one will be pretty good too. So there's a lot of good ones coming out. So I think it's probably going to be better than the movies we've seen. So I'm excited about it.
So how do you go about choosing a role or choosing to express interest in a role? Like, how are you finding out about these films and what do you have to see in what you read will get you interested enough to get involved in a film?
Well, I just, when it comes to certain things, I do have an agent for, and that's for the reenactment shows and things like that. But when it comes to what they call passion projects, I will, read to see what they need and what they want. And then I will inbox them and I'll just get to know like, okay, what exactly do you need me to do? What do I need to audition for? And all this other stuff like that. And then I just want to talk to the director and see what he would want me to do for a certain character. Right now, I'm writing and a part of this thing called Blood Repentance. And I started off like being just a guy, just like, hey, if you need anything, just let me know. Because I read what it was about and I'm like, yo, I'm interested in it. So the guy who I'm working with now, his name is Brian. And at first, I was like nobody, but then he was like, well, we may need you to be a sound or be a boom mic guy. And I was like, okay, cool. I'll do that. And went from that to being people dropping out. And he was like, you know what? You want to come on and be a part of the cast? And I'm like, yeah, I'll definitely do that. So I went from like being a minor role to being the lead in the movie. So wow. I know that was so dope. So now once he said I'm the lead, and how he wants to shoot the film, my mind just starts going like, okay, now I can kind of create a character that and just have him be just like this completely different from what you've seen, like vampire movies and stuff like that, be completely different. And so far, it's been going very, very well. Some names, like some celebrities attached to it, so it was like, holy crap, this is kind of crazy,
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
It's kind of like the Harrison Ford thing, right? He was what like a carpenter working on the set.
Yeah, and I was willing to do whatever it takes to be a part of it because I was just trying to get my name out there and things like that. But then now he really wanted me to be a part of it. Like he's basically got rid of most of his cast.
Wow.
And made it to where it's just like me and like 3 to 4 of the guys and made it smaller, but yet we've included those other name actors into it, and so far it's coming along very, very nicely. It's just it's a crazy process, but yeah, it's something that I just love doing. I think when I see like, oh, we need I may need people for this, I'll ask like, what exactly do you need? And if it's something that I know I can do and I can kill, I'm like, okay, let me know when and I'll audition for it.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Cory, did you get to meet Dolly Parton?
I did.
That woman is a national treasure.
What?
She absolutely is. She is so nice. She is so nice and so sweet. And she was like tired because we was there for a long time. I think we were there for like almost 10 to 11 hours that day. And she was, she was like, she was ready to go, but she was so kind, so sweet. And I was a part of like her choir at the end. And it was really nice. She was just very kind. And the fact that, she basically rented her whole part to make this movie happen is just kind of insane. But, I think it came together really nicely.
So like Dolly Parton, she's so kind and sweet and such a warm heart. It's almost the opposite of Jim, who has a cold, dead heart.
Yes, polar opposites. Yes.
I wouldn't know. I just got here. I don't know.
If you listen to some of the back podcasts, you'll find out.
I would like to point out that Mark actually thanked David Slayton on the last episode for starting my cold, dead heart.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
So I don't know that still holds true, Mark.
I have no. Time will tell, I guess. Cory, when did you start to get into acting? Was it as a child, teenager, or?
Yeah, it's a funny story. I tell this to everyone. Like they ask me that, like when I get into it. I was probably about 7 or 8 years old, and I was watching the Power Rangers. And I was like, I told my mom, I was like, hey, Mom, I want to be this when I grow up. And she was like, okay, son, okay, let me explain why that is not possible. So basically, she broke it down the best way she could. And she said that, that's acting, and, it's behind cameras and things like that. And once she explained to me, it was like, okay, I want to do that. So it's just been something that's just always been there ever since that age. And then I just finally got that push to go out for an audition. And as soon as I went to it, they loved me and they booked me for that role. And I was shocked, but I was so happy that I got it. And it was a small movie that I did. It's on YouTube. It's called Two. And everyone talked about how good I was and how long I've been acting. And I just tell them that was legit my first movie, and they were kind of shocked. So I was like, wow, But before that, a few years ago, I actually started doing stage plays, and that I think people was like, "Oh, this is your first time?" I was like, "Yeah," and it was like, "Wow, you," and that's where I picked up improv because I just did stuff randomly, and people were cracking up, stuff in the script I just added, and it worked. So ever since then, I've just had that bug, and I've just loved it so much. And when that opportunity came, I just went for it, and it worked out.
It kind of reminds me. You were saying you kind of were doing stage plays and things like that. My iPod in my car, I just have it in shuffle, right? Shuffle. So I have the soundtrack to The Fog. Okay. And one of the tracks on that is an interview with Jamie Lee Curtis, and it just came on this week. Okay. And she's talking about the difference between stage acting TV or movie acting. It says
Yeah.
obviously on stage you have to be very loud, but on TV and movies you have to almost be. Says sometimes you almost have to whisper.
Right.
And they're like almost two different fields, which is like, whenever
Yeah.
she was growing up and going to theater class, nobody ever told her how to act in front of a camera. It was all about
Right.
the stage. And she was kind of shocked about, hey, I didn't know what these different cues were, not to look at the camera and lower her voice and things like that. So it's just interesting, kind of the trade.
It is. And of when they interviewed The Rock and how he talks about how it's different, the difference between acting, in the ring and doing promos and things like that, than it is, with movies, how you have several takes, but you're doing things live, you get one take. And I've seen him, he just when he's on, he's on. And that's just something I've always wanted to do, is to be that, just to be, and that's kind of where it comes. A lot of the things I shot with Jordan, the first take, I got that. He was like, we don't have to do more, but just to be safe, let's do more. And that's kind of what my mentality is. I try to get it right the first time, but if not, it's still good to have those other takes and things like that. But yeah, that is interesting. But yeah, and that's very true what Jamie Lee Curtis said. Yeah.
Do you have, for any prior movie that was ever made, if there was a role that you could have been in? Think of one.
I always go to this because it's one of my favorite movies, but to be, the in The Dark Knight is just because that just it's one of my movies, and it's something that it was so good. Every time he was on screen, he just stole the show. You're on him because you did not know what he was gonna next, and it was so and stuff like that. I would have loved to have done that.
It was fantastic, and I don't know if you saw, there was a recent thing on YouTube with Christian Bale. He was doing an interview and he was talking about performing with Heath Ledger. And
I did.
Yeah, did you see him? He's like, now that's acting, and he was so blown away by it.
Yeah, I saw that interview. I posted on my phone. Wow, that's awesome. Because I don't really recall him talking that much about and stuff like that, and I thought maybe it was because his death was kind of so sad and things like that. But to finally see him talking about him was just so cool, because it was such a iconic role that to this day, a lot that people haven't touched it. I mean, they've tried, but it's still, his performance was so hard to top.
Oh, absolutely. I love Bale. I think he's a fantastic artist.
Yes,
he's blown it out of the water. Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so good. Just by the way, Cory, I asked Jim the same question about which role he'd like to be in, but I already know his answer.
Okay.
So Jim, before the podcast started, saying how much he wanted to be the middle piece in the human centipede. Now, I don't know.
God bless. That sounds terrible.
First off, Cory, this conversation never happened between Mark and I.
Oh my God. That movie, I've seen in the movies. I've heard how bad it was, and I'm like, yeah, I don't want to watch that. I have limits. I love horror movies, but there's some stuff I will not watch.
Oh, it's great. You should watch it.
The first one's not bad. The first one is not bad. I've never seen any of the others.
Yeah, they don't even mention the third one, so
I like all three of them. The third one's the weakest. The second one's the best. The fourth one is the most accessible.
I couldn't do it. I love my gore and stuff like that, but some stuff I'm just like, yeah, nah, y'all can have that.
So I have one last question regarding your career. I'm putting on my corporate suit right now, Cory. You can't see.
Okay.
Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
Oh, for fuck's sake.
No, that's fine. I mean, hopefully it's doing what I'm doing. I mean, so far I've made a lot of great strides that I have no idea that I was going to get to this point. Like I said, before we started, or when we started, I just came into this thing to act.
Right.
But now I'm writing, I'm producing, I'm casting, and I'm a part of different production teams now. So it's
Go ahead. Sorry.
No,
yeah,
you did.
Which it seems like you enjoy all of your different roles. Is there one that you would be like, yeah, in the future, I'd really like to be, starring in a feature film or writing a feature film or producing or casting a great film? Is there one that's you're most passionate about?
If I could be, and then if I could be maybe like this is just you're not gonna expect this. If I could be like the Green Arrow, and I'd be or Skeletor. That because I love Skeletor. That's one of my favorite villains. To do something like just something people wouldn't expect,
right,
and just kill. Because I love that. I love to act is to do something that people wouldn't expect, because people for the most part know me as a good person. And
so
sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, I didn't mean to cut you off. Finish. Sorry.
But to be like I'm gonna do this movie called The Abuser next year, and it's gonna blow people away because it's something outside of like who people know me to be. Look at the like, holy crap, that's not Cory. That is the role he's playing, because like to have that Heath Ledger effect, or what Jamie Foxx did with Ray, or even Will Smith did in Ali, because I didn't see Will Smith, I saw Muhammad Ali. To disappear in a role is just like the goal for me, Yeah,
and that's especially hard when you're a well-known actor.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit to unpack here, Cory, about something you said. So I'm curious.
Okay.
What is it about Skeletor that you find fascinating? Because I'm not going to lie, he's one of my favorite cartoon villains of all time. But I'm curious, what draws you to him?
I just think that I don't think he's been portrayed, in the right. I saw the movie back in the 80s when it came out, and I think he did a good job. But I think it hasn't been to me portrayed, to where he's feared, because people think about how back in the day he was just kind of very cartoonish and very corny and things like that. But to have him be scary and menacing and a threat to He-Man, I would love to portray him like that. As just a villain, I feel he needs to be done in a proper way.
That's fair. I can get on board with that.
Yeah, that's what I feel like. He deserves that. And I remember, I think one of the cartoons on Netflix kind of did him that way. And I'm like, thank you. Because I saw it. It's not the newer ones, but I think the early 2000s, where for the most part, he was kind of there was a mystery about him. You saw his backstory and things like that. And I'm like, I like this. Because, it's not corny. It's showing Skeletor as this dark figure that could, give He-Man the work, I'd love to do something like that.
That's fair.
Was it Kevin Smith that did it recently?
Yeah. Yeah, people didn't like the newer version.
So artistically it was beautiful.
Yeah.
But my problem with it is it wasn't about He-Man, it was about Teela. It only had the He-Man name and their characters, but it was essentially about Teela. In the first, I think 5 episodes, He-Man dies twice.
Yeah.
He does. Skeletor kill him?
No,
I believe he did. Who stabbed him the first time?
I think both of them died and then came back.
Yeah.
I think. But I think, what he was trying to do was make the side characters the central roles of the story, which I get, but at the same time, I'm like, no, I don't want this.
Yeah, if he had made it a different type of show and not called it He-Man, or just called it Masters of the Universe,
right?
Then it would be okay, because you could focus on other people, and He-Man is not the center. But he called it He-Man and Masters of the Universe, and everybody wants to see He-Man. That's the money shot.
Yeah, but he did. There was more He-Man in it, even though he was dead and they had to resurrect him. But I get both sides of it. I enjoyed the second season more because more He-Man and everything. But it just it kind of divide. Like fans were just kind of like, yeah, I don't want this. So,
Yeah, I mean, I guess you have to name it He-Man for the marketing, right? It's like having a
yeah,
Garfield reboot and calling it John.
yeah, right, exactly. Nobody wants to see that, but
Yeah, but I can understand. It's almost like false marketing at that point now.
right,
Yeah,
exactly,
exactly.
yeah.
I think we've given Kevin Smith enough grief. Jim, do you have any other general questions for Cory?
Well, I am curious, Cory. How did you fall into the producer role, and what exactly does that entail?
Yeah, it came with it. I think it came with actually the shape, really. Like, started with like him asking me general questions about like, do you think because I helped him out with casting because it was just like a few people. So yeah, I helped find some people for the camera and for more of the cast and things like that. And said, hey, we're gonna put you with casting. Okay, cool. So it said like I'm gonna give you not only casting, but I'm gonna give you a producer credit. And I'm like, okay, I guess I'm a producer then because I didn't know that what I was doing kind of conveyed to that. But yeah, apparently that's something that was within that when it came to the shape. And then Chase for a Dream, I've just been helping when it comes to like finding crew and finding directors and other writers and things like that. That's what I've been doing for Chase for a Dream that we're going to start shooting next year. And I think, with producing, it's just been, helping get the things done the best way possible. And that's what I've been trying to.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. It's been crazy. It's just been unexpected, but yeah, it's just been something that, I've just been going for it. And, it just gives me more like passion and love for making movies. Cause like I've been now that I'm in it now, I'm doing all these different roles. It's giving me this fired up. I just want to keep on doing it,
And see, when you're a big time movie exec and an A-list actor, you better say you started out on this little podcast.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, we gave you your big break, really.
Right. I mean, because you're going to get tens and tens of people listening to this.
Oh yeah, I can't wait. No, people have been asking, like, no, it's like, so when is this gonna be live and things like that? And it was like, as soon as it got edited, puts it out, I'll let you know because people want to hear it. So yeah,
Absolutely.
It'll be fun.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Cory, just moving away from your career, I'm just more into your likes for, say, we're primarily obviously a horror podcast,
right?
So what are some of your favorite horror movies and why?
Ooh, okay. I love the Hatchet series. That's one of my favorites. I love recently me and my cousin, we went to go see Terrifier 2 in theaters, and then we just like, holy crap. It's just like every 5 minutes something gruesome happens and we're like, holy crap, but we loved it. So I love the Terrifier movies. I'm more of the slasher genre. I love like a lot of ones that a lot of people haven't really heard of, like Redwood Massacre and Lay to Rest and things like that. My cousin has got me into Conjuring and things like that. But yeah, I love my old school slasher movies. I love the Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street. I love those. I just, the slasher has always been one of my favorite ones, but I do love the monster movies too. Like I grew up watching, Frankenstein and things like that. Like Abbott and Costello meets Frankenstein is one of my favorites, and the Dracula movies. I love those. Those have just been like my favorite. But I try to like the new stuff. I do try to venture out and see things. I'm not big on found footage type movies, but there are a couple that I'm like blown away with. I'm like, how the crap do they do that? Like one I saw was called Where, and it's a werewolf movie, but it was found footage. The way they did it was just So yeah, I love different stuff like that, but I love the slasher, the gore stuff. Those are like my favorites.
You and Mark have that in common. His favorite genre is definitely slasher as well.
Nice. Yeah, I love it. I love it. I'm not, one of these days, like I do have a movie planned. Like in a couple years, I'm going to do called I'm Sorry, and it's going to be a slasher, and I'm going to be the guy like excited about that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Jim's being facetious. I'm not a big slasher fan. However, we did a list. We did a list of best slashers, and I'm like, I like most of these. So maybe
there you go.
Speaking of, how did they film it? Like found footage stuff. Did you ever watch Hardcore Henry?
I did.
That I still I'm like, how did they film that? I don't even get it.
Jordan told me they have a certain type of camera. Because he knew, like, when I told him about the movie, like when I tell him about a movie and he's seen it, he knows exactly what camera they use. I'm like, dude, how? But he knew. And what's crazy is like that's another type of. I think more movies should be made like that because I think it's really underrated. At first, I wasn't a fan of it, but the second and third time I watched it, I'm like, this is awesome.
It's almost exhausting to watch.
It kind of is.
That's a good thing because there's just so much going on. And
it is.
It really is a video game kind of.
It is, but it's so interesting, and just the fact that no one has really done like stuff like that since is kind of crazy because you'd like to think that would be actually more popular.
Right. The only thing I can think of is in the original Doom. Whenever
that
the Doom movie part.
That part where I remember. That was like the only one. So like a movie and a half basically is how they've done it. That's it, which is crazy.
Jim, I believe you have a list. Did we want to go down a list and then
I have a list ready if we need them.
Yeah. Okay.
So you go ahead, Jim, with one of your lists.
Okay, so we'll do the short list. One of them has quite a lot of movies, but this is a list that we got courtesy of Collider. It is the scariest Halloween horror movies.
Oh,
so we're gonna go through this list from 10 to 1 and see what you guys thought.
Okay.
So number 10 is the ever popular Trick or Treat from 2009.
Love that one. Okay.
Modern classic.
I agree. I think it was well done, and everybody loves Sam.
And he's getting a sequel too.
Yeah.
They shelved that movie for like 3 years or something.
They did. I'm like, why? That was so. There's not too many like anthologies nowadays that are like really good, but that one's dope.
Yeah, it was done really, really well.
I agree. It's that one.
Wow, Jim, we should really highlight this part where all three of us agree with something because
I think the next one's going to be a little divisive.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, I think the next one's gonna split us back up, Mark. We'll be back on normal territory.
Right.
So the next one is a movie that came out in 2016, and it really is a either you love it or you hate it movie, and it is Terrifier.
Well then, yeah, there you go.
Yep. So
I love that.
The movie itself did not really do it for me, but I love the character of Art the Clown.
Yeah,
I think he's phenomenal.
I've heard that same thing. People say that it's like the movie was, but Art the Clown was, because he's one of the scarier clowns out there. Like I love Pennywise, but yeah, he's pretty. And I the second one this past weekend, and we're like, holy crap!
How long is the second one? I heard it's pretty.
It's a good 2 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, it's because it is more story driven. There's actually like a mid-credit scene, which I was not expecting to see this person pop up. I was like, are you kidding me? Like the whole crowd was like, why is he there? So yeah, it's it's a 2 hour movie, but yeah, I enjoy it because the gore, the creative, I love creative kills, and it's just like, wow. So yeah, I like people say that same thing about they love Art the Clown, but the movie was so, and I get that.
I'm really interested to see the second one.
The what?
What did you say?
I said I unfortunately agree with Jim.
I'm shocked.
I was not blown away, and this is a weird thing in my head, right? And it's probably in nobody else's head. As soon as a slasher killer picks up a gun, I'm like, eh.
Well, yeah, because it's like it feels like he's cheap, right? Yeah, I get that.
It's up close and personal. I did like the woman sawed in half.
Yeah, that blew me away. I'm like, what is going on? So I get that.
Yeah, that's an old form of execution.
Yeah.
And that was one thing I did really appreciate were all the practical effects. Because I love practical effects.
Absolutely.
And I
That's
really
why.
appreciated the fact that they used so much.
Yeah, that's why I love because it's all like old school effects, and I love stuff like that because they use CGI and everything, and some of it is just so trash. So to see like practical effects, I love seeing that.
Agreed.
I'm just looking at my signed Hatchet poster with Danielle Harris and Kane Hodder on it.
Yeah, look at you, just bragging now. I got birthday videos from them, so ha.
It's funny because me and Jim, we knew each other online through groups and stuff, but we both live in Florida. So it ends up we both go to the same convention together. So the last couple of times we kind of hung out. But yeah, and there's another one coming up next week. So Cory, if you want to come down, it's next week. You're not working, right? So.
Well, now I start my job like next Monday.
You should give yourself a break.
Well, it's gonna be like a super easy job, so I'm like it's just like 5 hours a day, so it's really nothing. Yeah.
Okay, Jim. Next.
Okay, so this is one that I've never even heard of. So kudos to you if you have. It's the WNUF Halloween special. It's a found footage movie from 2013.
Never heard of that.
Never heard of it.
Me either. So essentially, it's a Halloween broadcast, and it just cuts to news stories.
And this feels like
found footage format.
And this kind of feels like, Jim, like we were talking about, that there's so few horror movies based on Halloween. They probably Googled it.
Yeah.
Horror movies around Halloween. Oh, there's only like 4. Okay, we'll put this one on there.
Right. It's I've never heard of that one.
This other one Mark might have heard of, but I don't think the rest of us will have.
Okay.
So, Mark, this is a 1992 BBC TV film. It's called Ghost Watch.
Oh, yeah.
It's technically, they call it a precursor to the found footage genre.
Yeah.
I've heard of that, but I've never seen it.
Yeah, so basically what that was is that on Halloween night, they had legitimate presenters who were just like, general presenters of like news and current affairs. And they did kind of like a live Halloween sort of, we're going to, because it's Halloween, we're going to take a camera crew, and they had a studio people, they had people in this haunted house, and it was, playing off. It's kind of like the War of the Worlds, right?
Got you.
And it freaked a whole bunch of people out because they thought it was real. I don't know, like some of it might be lost on an audience that doesn't recognize the people over there and might just be like, what? So
yeah, it sounds like kind of like Ghost Hunters a bit, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of it's sort of it's cool the way they did it, because again, they have like the studio audience there, and the people behind desks, and they're going to their reporters, and the reporters, oh look what's happening, and then they show something moving, and I mean,
okay.
So this to me sounds a lot like that live PD show. Oh, let's cut over to this city, and this is what's going on, or let's cut over to this police department, and this chase in progress.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's all fake. And then people were freaking out because people in Britain get freaked out about the stupidest little things. So.
But Doctor Who's saving everybody for some reason. So, yeah.
Right. So, next up, we have the 2016 masterpiece, 31.
Really?
Rob Zombie 31?
Yes.
I mean, okay.
I'll have you know he's on this list twice.
What? Okay, I will say this. I will say, for me, it's his best movie, I think. But I mean, I'm saying like for me it is. But the thing about it is like that's not really saying much. Just I feel like because I think like. Go ahead.
No, I will say it's maybe his most original film.
Well, yeah,
because these other ones are just knockoffs of Tarantino, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, those types of movies that he just loves. So
Yeah.
at least that was a little bit different, even if it was just awful, in my opinion.
So,
Yeah.
Corey, you may or may not know this, but I absolutely despise almost everything Rob Zombie's ever made outside of his music.
Except for the Munsters, Jim, right?
Bite me, Mark.
I will never. I'm not gonna watch it. It just looks not great at all.
It is not.
Yeah, it looks terrible. I'm not gonna watch it. It just looks like an abomination.
Now we'll watch Wednesday, but I'm not watching the Monsters.
No.
I'm curious about Wednesday. Like
I don't too.
I actually am. If I'm not mistaken, if I read the casting right, Catherine Zeta-Jones is playing Morticia. I'm on board with that.
And Christina Ricci is back in there.
Yeah, but they won't say what she's doing yet.
She's in the final trailer. I think she's a teacher or something.
And that's cool. I love Christina Ricci. Absolutely.
Yeah, I met her when she was in Knoxville. She was so sweet.
Yeah, she's gonna be at Spooky this weekend or next weekend.
Awesome.
So next up, hey Mark, before I go to the next one, can you get closer to your mic?
I'm as close as I can get.
Is it in your mouth?
Basically.
Is there a volume knob on it or something? Because you're really low for some reason.
No, it's just my normal setup.
Okay. Maybe it's just my headphones then.
Yeah,
okay.
It's probably your malfunctioning equipment.
Yeah, more than likely.
Oh, yeah.
My thrift store finds. Okay, so next up we have the only Rob Zombie movie I do enjoy, House of a Thousand Corpses.
That wasn't bad.
That was the first movie I saw of his and the only one I've liked.
Yeah, that wasn't bad. It was okay.
Does it feel like a Halloween movie?
No? I mean, do you mean Halloween is in the season? No.
Yeah.
No.
Because isn't that what we're doing? Like Halloween?
Well, no, these are scariest movies to watch on Halloween.
Oh, bullshit. 31. Fuck off.
These are not Halloween-themed movies.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
So, Corey, I've explained this to him 3 times, and he's just now catching on. Just so you're aware.
Okay. Got you.
What did you say, Jim?
What?
What?
So, next up, we have the 2019 YA horror movie, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
That's not based around Halloween, Jim.
Mark?
Oh, is that the kids movie?
Yeah.
It's a YA thing. It's it's beautiful, but it's essentially based on like Goosebumps books or books from that same genre. And to me, it was kids probably enjoyed it a lot more than I did.
Was that the one with the sister with the spiders coming out of her face, or was that?
Yes.
Oh, I actually quite like this one.
It wasn't bad. It just I think younger audiences would have enjoyed it more.
Yeah, I thought.
Yeah, I think I saw the kill count for that. So yeah, from what I saw of it, it looks really good.
Yeah, it's not terrible.
Yeah.
But it's definitely geared to a younger audience.
Yeah.
Got you. Yeah, like Goosebumps was for us. Goosebumps and Are You Afraid of the Dark? I got you.
Well, Corey, that might be for you, but Mark and I are a tad older.
Oh, sorry, my bad. I thought I was in my range. That's what I grew up with. As a kid, freaked me the heck out. So
that's fair. But that's a little young for us old folk.
Get off our lawn, Corey.
Yeah, I got you.
Next up, Jim?
Is Night of the Demons from 1988.
Ooh, yes, fantastic. I like that. I'll give it credit too. The remake isn't bad either.
There was a remake.
Yeah.
It was.
Freddy versus Jason, the main girl, wasn't she in it?
Monica Tina, Shannon. The people, but it wasn't bad. But the first it's a classic. It's one of my favorites.
It is. I can't say I recall seeing the remake, so I might have to look that up.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It was its own thing. It didn't feel like a remake. It was one of the movies that it has the names of the characters, but the story is somewhat similar, but it's a different feel.
Right. Mark, you want to guess what the next one is?
Halloween.
I'm sorry?
Halloween?
You're going to have to be more specific, sir.
Halloween 3.
Correct.
What?
Halloween 3, Season of the Witch.
Holy crap. Okay.
So now, here, I don't understand. So I do understand why it gets hate, but I can tell you, I saw this movie in its heyday when it was first released.
Yeah.
And I freaking loved it from the beginning. I didn't care that Michael Myers wasn't in it. I didn't care about any of that.
Right.
I absolutely was mesmerized by the Silver Shamrock and what happened to the kids watching it.
Right.
Corey, did you like it?
I mean, I wasn't a big fan. It's like he's so dope. He's like one of my favorites. But and I try to like watch it on his own merit. It's just something I just couldn't get into. There's like, you know, in the big three, there's like one or two that, you know, you just like, nah. And that's one of them. Like I hate Friday the 13th Part 5 because Jason wasn't in it. I just felt cheated. Nightmare on Elm Street, I didn't really. At first, as a kid, I didn't like Part 2, but I've grown to actually like Part 2. Yeah. But I think for me, it's like Dream. I was like, I despise that one. But you know, then we all have the ones that were just like, no. But I see why it's kind of growing its own fan base and whatnot, and I'm cool with that, you know. And I like the whole Shamrock thing, the theme, and I like the way they put that in, you know, Halloween Kills, even though I didn't really like Halloween Kills plot-wise, but the kills were crazy, and to see those masks on those, you know, kids or whatever, I thought that was crazy.
And I guess the eternal question about Halloween 3, Corey, if it was just called Season of the Witch, would you have liked it more?
I probably... I mean, I don't know. It's still like, because I try to watch it and not think about, you know, Michael Myers not being in it. And, you know, like stuff about it, you know, of course there is. It's just, something I just couldn't get into it. I just didn't, you know, care for it. Like, and I have to go, I try to go back and watch it. Like, I try to give movies a chance. I really do. Because maybe it's like, I'm like, because as a kid, you know, you'll love something, then you watch older, like, oh, what the crap. But then there's stuff that you're like, oh, wow, you know what? I actually like this, you know?
And I think it is an acquired taste. I mean, it's very cheesy.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah. So, pop quiz, what is the Silver Shamrock song based on?
I do not know.
Corey?
I have no idea.
London Bridge is Falling Down.
Really?
Yeah, I could see that.
So next time you hear like, London Bridge is falling down, falling down, falling down.
Yeah, that sounds like the beat. It does.
Halloween is almost here, or something like that, right? Halloween is almost here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I did not know that.
We're here to entertain and educate, Corey.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I'm probably not going to watch the movie, but I appreciate it.
All right, Jim, what's next on the...
They're number one. We're on to number one, and I've not heard the movie, so if you have, please enlighten me. It's called Murder Party.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It was neither funny or scary.
It was. This is boring.
Yeah, I agree.
This sort of sounds like my fear for Cabin at the End of the World. Like it seems like it's just a giant conversation.
No, it's not. It's just crap, basically.
Yeah, it's pretty. Sorry.
Yeah, for somebody to put that on number one on any list other than shitty movies,
right? There's other ones, and to put, you know, Trick or Treat like that low compared to that, yeah, nah, get that out of here. No, I don't like that.
That's fair. That's the end of my list, Mark.
Okay, I have a game to play now. I feel like Jigsaw.
Okay.
You want to play a game? Okay, so this is what's called a speed round. So I'm going to put two movies up against each other in a versus. You just have to pick one or the other.
Oh, okay.
Explanation. I've got a bunch of these, and if you haven't seen the movie, you can just say pass. And if there's multiple versions of the movie, just pick whichever one that you want.
Okay.
And we will get down to it. Corey, we'll start with you as you are our guest. And then Jim. So number one, Dog Soldiers versus Cujo.
Ooh, Dog Soldiers.
Jim.
I hate you, Mark. I got to go with Cujo.
Yeah, By the way, most of these are not like dilemmas. These are more like just me trying to put fun movie titles together. And these are
I just hate because I love both of those movies. But
Absolutely.
Cujo I have to go with because of the nostalgia.
right.
Also,
And because at the last Spooky, Mark, who did I meet?
So some unknown woman from the 80s. It wasn't in anything.
Dee Wallace.
I met Dee Wallace. Yes.
Come on, that's pretty important.
It was amazing. She was amazing. She was so sweet.
She seems like it.
She really is. And she's tiny. Like I had to duck down so she could look over my shoulder.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. I thought she was pretty. I didn't know that. Holy crap.
Yeah. I am not
Mark.
So she's on. Okay, next Cat's Eye versus the Birds.
But I'll say the Birds.
Okay. Jim?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Birds also. Cat's Eye I found kind of boring.
Yeah, Birds is the classic, and I watched like the kill count on it to see all the behind the scenes stuff. I was like, crazy.
Yeah.
I was talking, Corey, to Jim a while ago about the movie Roar. Have you heard about that movie?
What is it?
Called Roar, ROA. So this was billed as the most dangerous movie ever made. And this is basically a movie with, funnily enough, we're talking about the Birds, Tippi Hedren in it, and Melanie Griffith. And it's basically a movie about this family living with this pack of lions, like in their house. And Melanie Griffith like nearly lost an eye. People were scalped by the lions. Everybody was attacked. You should even just look up the trailer. It is crazy.
Yeah, I've never heard of that, which is crazy. I've not heard of that one.
Yeah, I hadn't either, so don't feel bad.
I'm a nerd. Okay. Next up, The Thing versus The Blob.
So either version, right?
Anyone want to pick?
Dang. I'll take The Thing.
Okay.
Yeah,
Jim?
I'm going with the Thing also.
Okay.
That's because I love the 80s version of The Blob too. Okay.
Right, and I'm just going strictly based on more of horror because The Blob to me is more a horror comedy, and I appreciate the straight horror of The Thing. Like the whole movie's intense.
Yes, God bless. I have that on Blu-ray. Love that movie.
I don't really think The Blob is hard. Well, I mean, there is some comedic element.
The 80s remake was more of a horror comedy, in my opinion.
No, I'm talking about the remake. Yeah, I mean, there is. Anyway, we'll move on. It's a speed round. Okay, Marvel's Doctor Strange versus Dr. Giggles.
But crap. Doctor Strange.
Yeah, I got to go with Doctor Strange. Also, I was not a fan of Dr. Giggles.
Okay,
Neither.
The Martian versus the Ghost of Mars.
Okay, remind me again of The Martian. What is that about?
That's the one Matt Damon.
Ghost
of Mars. Yeah.
Yeah, Ghost of Mars.
Oh no, The Martian's way better movie.
You're full of shit too.
No, Ghost of Mars is whenever John Carpenter started losing it. But anyway, I'm not in this. I'm not answering the questions. I'm the presenter.
That's right. So you keep your opinions to yourself, Mister.
I shall. Thank you for my lesson there. Okay, Day of the Dead versus The Dark Knight.
Dark Knight.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to pass. I haven't seen either one.
What?
Wow.
See, this is what I have to deal with.
Good grief.
Isn't that crazy?
It is.
Sorry, go ahead, Corey.
Yeah, because I've recently, I saw Day of the Dead. Great, but yeah, The Dark Knight is a movie I know I've seen over 100 times. So yeah.
Okay, this one is a non-horror versus, but it's funny. Goodfellas versus Bad Boys. Corey.
Yeah, I know. Go ahead.
Okay. I was just making sure you didn't drop off there. Goodfellas versus Bad Boys.
Oh, I did say Bad Boys.
Oh, you did?
Oh, we didn't hear it. Sorry.
Okay, yeah. I said Bad Boys. I thought y'all was pausing because it was like, how could he pick that? There was like a quietness to like, how dare you? So I didn't know.
We thought you were seriously contemplating this.
No, it's I love Goodfellas, I do, but like Bad Boys is a movie. It's just I saw it. Like it was one of the movies I actually saw in theaters, and it was so good. It was the first time seeing those two who I like grew up watching Martin and Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and seeing them on screen. I was like, yo, this is so dope. So yeah, I had to go with that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Bad Boys also because I was never a fan of Goodfellas.
Okay. Toy Story versus Child's Play.
Child's Play, even though that did give me some nightmares, but I'll go with Child's Play.
100% Child's Play. There's no question.
Yeah.
Okay. Vertigo versus Falling Down.
Ooh. I like Vertigo.
Yeah, I'm going Vertigo the whole way.
Yeah.
Okay. Nightmare on Elm Street versus Doctor Sleep.
What? Dang it. Dang.
How is this even a question?
Just give me
titles, Jim, to put together.
Just because I don't know if did y'all guys see the director's cut of Doctor Sleep?
Yes.
It's to me, it's so good. It's really good. But Nightmare on Elm Street for me.
So I'm gonna go with Nightmare on Elm Street because it's one of my favorite movies of all time, and I love every movie in the franchise. However, on to Doctor Sleep. I like the movie. I love the book. I hate the fact that in the movie they use the ending from The Shining.
Yeah, a lot of people were kind of upset about that. I liked how the what now?
I said that pissed me off to no end.
I can tell in your voice. I can tell, but I like a lot of the aspects of the movie, and I thought the ending was okay. But yeah, I can see why people weren't a big fan of that. But from that point to that ending, like I enjoyed it. But the ending, of course, was okay. But like the other thing with Rose and the girl, I enjoyed that. So yeah, But yeah, Nightmare on Elm Street is a classic, and I love Robert Englund. So yeah.
And my other big problem with Doctor Sleep, because I love the source material, and I love Ewan McGregor. He was great. I love the actress that played Rose. However, she was not intimidating enough to play that role.
Really?
That should have been feared. In the book, she's ruthless, and she is not you're going to mess with. In the movie, she was not portrayed that way.
Well, when they did that to the kid, I was kind of like, what the crap? I thought, they meant business, but yeah, I can see why you would feel that way. Yeah, I do.
Okay, next, Mark.
Yep. No Country for Old Men versus The Children of the Corn.
I'll say The Children of the Corn because I haven't seen No Country for Old Men.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the same thing Cory just said because I've not seen No Country for Old Men.
It's definitely worth seeing. It's a good movie. Okay, next, Shaun of the Dead versus Dawn of the Dead.
Okay. And it's either dang, I'll say Shaun of the Dead.
I'm going with Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah.
Aliens versus Predator.
You son of a gun.
Not the movie Alien versus Predator. Like that's not one choice. You're asking us to pick between the two?
Between Aliens and Predator. Listen to the question.
What? Dang it. I'll say Predator.
Alien, 100%.
Aliens.
I knew. Yeah, I get it. I was going to say Aliens, but I knew you were going to say Aliens, so I had to say Predator. I knew you were going to say that.
That's okay. I like some of the movies in the Predator franchise, but Alien is near and dear to my heart.
It's Alien.
Did you guys? Oh, quick question. Did you guys enjoy Prey?
We did. Yeah, I thought it was great.
Me too. I enjoyed it.
And Mark, it doesn't matter that you said Aliens. I would still pick Aliens.
Well, they're different movies, Jim.
They are, but anything in that franchise, I'm going to pick over whatever else you put it against.
Well, see, if you would have said Alien, I definitely would put Predators. I enjoy Aliens a lot more than Alien.
I totally agree.
That one.
This one is like picking between your two children.
I know, because I love Predators so much. The first and the second one are two of my favorites. So I was like, so.
I had no difficulty in this choice. I'm sorry.
I know. It's all good.
Next one up, Spider-Man versus The Fly.
Okay. Spider-Man, even though both versions of the Fly are good, but Spider-Man.
Brundlefly wins.
Which version of Spider-Man are you using?
Oh, right. You could choose any one, right?
Yep.
I'd probably pick Toby's.
Okay.
His was the best Spider-Man.
his the first movie was like out of the first movies, that one is my favorite.
Yeah, agreed. I can see that.
Yeah.
However,
Yeah.
Brundlefly still wins every time.
Yeah, Fly is a good movie, especially the one with Jeff Goldblum. That one was just, oh God, it was body horror, but it freaked me out, but it was really good.
It was amazing.
Okay, next up, Scream versus A Quiet Place.
Ooh, doggone it. I think I'll take A Quiet Place.
I'm going with Scream because I loved the intelligence in the first movie.
Yeah, it still was good, but I love The Quiet Place was just so different. I just really enjoyed that.
I disagree. The Quiet Place is an amazing film.
Okay.
Anyway,
yeah, it is.
On the speed round, Jim remembers the speed round. Okay, Dead Alive versus Evil Dead.
Oh my God.
Evil Dead.
I refuse to choose.
Oh, flip. I forgot. Okay, wait. You said Dead. I was thinking about that terrible video game movie. You're talking like Brain Dead, right?
Right.
Yes.
Foot. Okay. God, I'll stick with Evil Dead. Doggone it.
Yeah. I refuse to choose, Mark. You're not making me pick in that one.
Yeah. Just pick one, Jim.
Dead Alive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is completely random because Evil Dead I love.
I do too. But I just recently saw Brain Dead because I got it on Blu-ray and I'm like, oh no.
Oh, it's classic.
It is.
Split versus It.
It.
Jim?
I'm going to go with the 90s version of It.
Okay. The Descent versus The Fall of the House of Usher.
I haven't seen the Fall one, so I guess The Descent, even though I wasn't a big fan of that.
Yeah, I'm going with The Descent. I liked it much better.
Fall of House of Usher is Vincent Price.
Okay.
Edgar Allan Poe type thing.
Yeah, yep. Great story, good acting.
Yeah. The Mist versus The Fog.
The Fog. I love The Fog.
The Mist.
Okay. Cube versus Sphere. I can't talk. Cube versus Sphere.
I'll say Cube.
Cube.
Okay. Let Me In versus Get Out.
Get Out for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Let Me In, even though I've never seen it because you know my feelings on Get Out, Mark.
In the Mouth of Madness versus Teeth.
Oh God. Give me In the Mouth of Madness. I can't stand Teeth.
I agree with In the Mouth of Madness.
Yeah.
Cabin in the Woods versus Hostel.
Cabin in the Woods.
Hostel, 100%.
Rosemary's Baby versus The Orphan.
The Orphan, actually.
Rosemary's Baby.
This one I just thought was funny to put together, and I hope somebody's seen at least one of these movies. Versus Irreversible.
Oh my God. Irreversible is so terrible. I've seen Irreversible. It's terrible. I haven't seen Versus, so unfortunately I'll have to say Irreversible.
Okay.
I've not seen either one.
Yeah,
don't watch it.
Yeah, I don't plan on it. It's Mark recommended. I'm not going to watch it.
It's an uncomfortable movie visually.
Very.
Not even there's.
But it doesn't have any. It doesn't hold a candle to a Serbian film, but it's still pretty bad.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. From Dusk Till Dawn versus Near Dark.
Oh God. Dang it. Near Dark.
I'm gonna have to go with From Dusk Till Dawn. I enjoyed that one a lot more.
I did too. They were both good, so that's a tough one. I'm just going by Near Dark because I saw that recently.
It Follows versus The Running Man.
The Running Man.
The Running Man.
I hate It Follows so much.
Thank you. Me too.
So
it's such
much.
garbage.
I hate it.
Like if you just
one interesting kill in that whole movie.
Yeah.
If you just go through like my thought process, I'm like, It Follows. What could we do with that? Oh, a running man. Okay.
No, you should have did. You know what would have been bad? You should have did It Follows versus the Babadook, and then I went like, you know what? I quit.
Yeah, exactly. I 100% agree with you.
I am just here to make up funny movie title versus. I don't really care about movies, honestly. Okay, The Devil's Rejects versus Angel Heart.
Oh God.
God, I quit.
I'll say Angel Heart because The Devil's Rejects was just, even though the director's cut, my baby's in it. I love Rosario Dawson, but she got killed, which sucks. But I'll take Angel Heart, I guess.
I'd have to go with Lisa Bonet and Angel Heart.
Okay.
Yeah.
12 Angry Men versus 13 Ghosts.
13 Ghosts.
I have to go with 12 Angry Men because I was in the play.
Ah.
Interesting. See, Jim is also an actor, Corey.
Yeah, that's
awesome. Airplane versus Final Destination.
I'll probably say Final Destination. That movie changed the game.
I'm going with Airplane.
Okay. Candyman versus Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Candyman, please.
Yeah, I'm going with Candyman also.
Okay. Carrie versus Christine.
Ooh.
Oh God.
Woo. I love both these movies, but if I'm doing the Sissy Spacek Carrie, then I'm doing Carrie.
Yeah, I'm same. I'm going with Carrie.
Yeah. Gosh.
Okay. Saw versus Hatchet.
Oh God, I hate you. Hatchet.
Hatchet.
Yeah. Corey, I haven't had somebody say I hate you so much since last time I was on the podcast with Jim.
These are really hard because a lot of them I really like. Like Saw really just blew my mind, but Hatchet was it's my favorite franchise, so I have to go with that.
Overlord versus Underworld.
Underworld.
Overlord, 100%.
Okay.
Hellraiser versus Drag Me to Hell.
Oh God, that hurts.
Give me Hellraiser.
Yeah, I'm going with the original Hellraiser.
Yeah, the new one wasn't bad either.
We'll talk about that when we get to what we've seen.
Okay.
The People Under the Stairs versus the Flowers in the Attic.
People Under the Stairs.
Flowers in the Attic, 100%.
See, Corey, it's just like Jim just wants to argue.
No, not at all. To me, the realism in Flowers in the Attic was much more frightening than the horror aspects of People Under the Stairs.
I just love it because it's underrated of Wes Craven's movies.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I still love the movie, but still
Absolutely.
Flowers in the Attic was much more terrifying to me.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
The Shallows versus Deep Rising.
I'll say Deep Rising.
Yeah, I'll have to go with Deep Rising also.
Ghostbusters versus Paranormal Activity.
Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters.
Idle Hands versus The Eye.
Ooh. Give me Idle Hand.
Yeah, I have to agree.
Yeah.
Dead Silence versus The Howling.
Why is this even a question?
What?
Why is this even a question?
Because it's funny because it's silence and then it's howling. It's like
no, I mean why? No, you don't understand the question, Mark.
No.
I'm curious as to why Corey hasn't answered yet.
Oh, Dead Silence.
In my opinion, oh God, that explains it. The Howling.
Yeah. Well, because I've never seen The Howling. Wait, are you talking about The Howling or The Howling?
Yes. The Howling.
Howling, the werewolf.
With Dee Wallace.
The werewolf movie. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, no, The Howling. My bad. Sorry. I'm thinking of there's a movie called The Howling, spelled HAOLL, something like that. I don't know. No, you meant The Howling, the first. Oh, yeah. No, I'll take that. Sorry.
Okay. Firestarter versus The Burning.
Oh, doggone it. Dang, these are both good, but I'm going to go with The Burning.
I'm going to go with Firestarter. Drew Barrymore was amazing.
Yeah, she was. Absolutely.
And for my final one, I'll clear my throat. Freddy versus Jason versus Aliens versus Predator versus Kramer versus Godzilla versus Kong.
I love that question, and I hate you for the first two choices.
Right. Oh, God bless. Dang it. I don't. Because I did love Kong versus Godzilla. I'll go there. But no, I'm going to AVP was very special to me, so I'm going AVP.
And Mark, can you guess which one I'm going to pick?
Kramer versus Kramer, obviously.
Exactly.
Yep.
Because I hate the rest of them.
Yeah.
How do you?
I do.
Okay, so that was my fun little game. I hope.
Okay.
I like that game. We should do that a little more often, Mark.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah, I like that.
My brain power, which is in short supply recently. But yeah, we can revise and do another one. Jim, did you want to do your other list, or
We can if you'd like. I do have another list up if you guys want to keep going.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so this is 30 scary movies to watch on Halloween.
Here we go.
Okay.
So Jim, does this mean they're set on Halloween?
No, Mark. It just means they're scary movies that make Halloween more fun.
So are they held in fall or autumn, as people should be saying?
I haven't perused the entire list, but I'm going to guess no.
I'm just fucking with you. Okay.
I know you. So number 30, we start off with a movie I have not seen. It's called Host from 2020.
Oh, okay. Different host. Sorry, because there's the Japanese one. And
this is a found footage done.
It's a Zoom one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it. I've heard of it. I heard good things about it, but I haven't got a chance to watch it yet.
Yep.
So number 29, we have the 1988 classic Child's Play.
Yeah, I agree.
It's good. It's not my favorite. I think.
Yeah, I wouldn't have put it that far down, but I thought it was good.
Yeah,
definitely. I give that.
It's really enhanced by Brad Dourif.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Gosh. Yeah, he was so good. Good.
Who, as Mark knows, Brad Dourif is one of the only celebrities that has ever reduced me to not being able to speak.
Oh.
I talked to him.
I could not vocalize a single sentence to this man, and he tried so hard to engage me. I just couldn't do it.
Oh man,
it was awesome.
The only person, Cory, that happened to me with was John Carpenter.
Oh, you met him?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Yep. I must show you my collection of autographs at some time.
Yeah, and I remember one that I was with. I saw Kane Hodder, but I could not go. I couldn't. I could not talk to him. But I just saw him, I was like, "You do what?"
We saw him at a spooky, and I literally walked into him, and I still couldn't speak to him.
Oh, I met him when he did what he does with a number of fans. He strangles you.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, my friend Bill has it as his profile picture now of Kane strangling him. Yeah, I know he does it a lot, but it was him and Tyler Mann at the same booth, and I was like, holy crap.
And let me tell you this, he doesn't hold back. He legitimately squeezes your throat.
I believe it. I believe it.
All right, Jim, what's next?
Okay, so next we have here we go. 2003 Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh, good Lord in heaven.
Yeah.
I didn't mind
Mark, there is nothing that is redeemable in that movie. So don't try, please.
Yeah,
Jessica Biel is hot. That's all I got.
No, okay, so you can't tell me there's one scene where she's crying in the van, and then all of a sudden you turn back and she's fucking hysterical. Like somebody in that cut went up and slapped her across the face.
Mm.
What's wrong with that, Jim? Cory,
I'm sorry?
That happens to him frequently to get a reaction, right?
Sometimes, yeah. But I will say I enjoyed the beginning a lot more.
Yep.
I think that one was more better. In my opinion, that one was a lot better.
Yep, agreed.
That's fair.
But I still like the original one. Okay.
So next we have the Chris Rock vehicle, 2021 Spiral.
Yeah. I saw it. It was his best acting role, which isn't saying much, but it was just really predictable. Like I saw that coming. Like really? Okay. So
I didn't see it. So.
Yeah.
Oh, you did? Well, good for you. And you didn't miss much. I mean, the traps were there was some good ones, but the story and everything was just like, okay.
It was totally forgettable.
It was absolutely.
I didn't intentionally miss it. I just, for whatever reason, never got around to seeing it.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I just wanted to. I was interested in it, and then afterwards. I'm just kind of like, okay, I shouldn't have watched it.
Okay. Next up, we have 2012's VHS.
Yes, I love the franchise. Except for Viral, I love the franchise.
VHS is good. VHS 2 is way better.
Oh, I agree completely. But have you seen the newer one yet?
The 19, what is it? Which one are they up to now?
I think they're 94. It's VHS 94.
I have not seen that one yet.
It's real, dude. It's really good. I think it's if you have Shutter, it's on there. It's awesome.
I do.
Yeah, you should check it out. It's really good.
Okay.
Okay.
Will do.
So we're gonna venture into dark comedy right now.
Okay.
We're going to talk about the 1992 masterpiece that is Death Becomes Her.
Oh. I mean, it wasn't bad.
I absolutely adore that movie. I will watch it wherever.
Go ahead, sorry, Jim.
No, I was just saying I adore the movie. That's it.
I have not seen it since it first came out. I have no recollection about it.
I've seen it a few times. I love stuff that's creative and different, and I wasn't expecting it to be like that. And I was like, "Holy crap!" And it was PG-13. I'm like, a lot of stuff they were doing. I'm like, okay, because my
mother likes to tell me that I am a twist and sick individual because the minute that Meryl Streep gets pushed down the stairs, I bust out laughing, and I can't stop until it's over.
Jim, do you think your mother has anything to do with you being twisted and sick?
It's 100% her fault.
Okay.
Do you want to tell Cory why?
I don't know what story you're referring to, Mark. We've been through so many.
Okay, so when you were 8 or 9 years old, Jim, cast your mind back. Your mother sat you down in front of the television. And then she made you watch Ghost Rape.
Oh my gosh.
So what he's impolitely referring to, Cory, initiated. My mother has she loves based on true event movies, and one of her favorites was The Entity with Barbara Hershey.
Oh God, I've seen that.
And Mark likes to make fun of the fact that I was 8 or 9 years old watching this movie, and there's ghost rape in it. And I had never connected with me.
No, Jim. It's not the fact that you were
an adult.
Jim, it wasn't the fact that you were 8 or 9 watching it. It's you were 8 or 9 watching it with your mom.
Oh, is that what it is?
That's the kicker.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. I don't understand. I don't understand the kink there, but okay.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. Now we're moving up to 2019, and this is a movie I have not seen. It's called Haunt.
Yeah, that was okay.
Sounds familiar. I might have seen it.
I think it's the one at the fair. There's not a fairground. I think it's a fairground, or like there's a horror thing going on. It was all right.
So next up, we go to 1980, and we are going to talk about the classic Friday the 13th, the original.
I like that one. That was good.
It's all right.
Mark?
It's all right.
I mean, have the mom being the killer, that was a bit of a shock.
It was. Nobody would have seen that coming.
Right, exactly. And for the people who later in the series are thinking, oh, this is where Jason got to start. And you're like, wait, who is that? And it's like, it's Jason's mom. And you're like, holy crap, that's how it started. Like, yep, that's how it started.
This is how, Cory, this is how Jim got into his favorite subgenre of Giallo, right, Jim? You like the murder mystery and...
Giallo films?
Yeah.
So, long story short, Cory, I didn't know what a Giallo film was until Mark made me watch The New York Ripper.
Oh, okay.
A little bit of Fulci.
Yeah. Did you guys like *Malignant*? Because I think that was supposed to be a Giallo film too, right?
I thought that was an enjoyable film. I did enjoy *Malignant*.
You absolutely, Cory. It's very much a take on Giallo. Yeah, I actually quite liked it. It's almost a Giallo mixed with an 80s kind of basket case type.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I enjoyed it too. James Wan is one of my favorite directors, so yeah, I liked it.
Yep.
Okay, so next up we have the 2005 House of Wax.
Oh God.
which
Mark?
shouldn't have been called House of Wax, right? Should have been
Can-
called Tourist Trap.
Can you recount my favorite scene in this movie?
Paris Hilton getting speared in the face.
Yep. The only
That was
good,
everybody's favorite part.
that's the only redeeming quality in that whole movie.
Yeah, I actually stood up and clapped for that. And I was kind of like to my cousin and my aunt, so you're ready to go home? Because we ain't got to finish the rest of this movie. Like, we can go.
Yep, exactly.
It's weird. It feels like much more of a mid-90s movie. Doesn't it?
Yeah, it kind of does.
Yeah. Okay, so now we are going on to 1998.
Uh-huh.
Mark,
Mhm.
we're going to talk about a movie you enjoy very, very much. Ringu.
Oh, yes. My gateway drug into Asian cinema.
So, Mark, what did you think about the remake?
I hated the remake.
You did? Okay.
So the reason why I hate the remake is that it stripped away, and probably necessarily, the mythology, which really was the thing that I loved about the original. All about Sadako's origins, some sort of sea demon slept with her mother, and that she was in the remake. Oh, it's just a crazy little girl with weird magic powers. Okay.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
And do we want to talk about the masterpiece that followed, Mark?
Wait, what happened?
The Ring 2?
No. The
A
Ring
Ring
versus
Open?
The Grudge.
Oh, God.
Sadako versus some Kayaku.
Yes. And
Yeah, I never saw it.
It's fantastic.
Really
I highly recommend watching that movie. It's
Really?
great. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
That's another one I should have added into the Aliens versus Predator versus Kramer versus. I should have added
Right.
in Kayaku versus Sadako. Okay.
So next up, we have Liv Tyler in The Strangers.
Haven't seen it.
It was, but I know I'm like in the minority when it comes to this, but I kind of prefer the sequel over the first one.
I was 100% on board for the movie up until the final jump scare, and that ruined it for me.
Really?
Yeah.
Cory, you have to be aware that Jim may dislike a movie because how somebody's hair was colored. I'm not kidding. I am not kidding.
My rating system is Harry Knuckles, just so you're aware.
Got you. Okay.
Mark invented that one for me.
Well, I didn't invent it. You brought it up.
So next up, we have 1996, our first mainstream jaunt into the meta, Scream.
Okay. Yeah, I like Scream.
Not a fan.
Yeah, we know.
You're not a fan? You guys are not a fan of Scream?
I like it up into the fourth one. Fifth one, yeah.
You didn't like the fifth one? Oh, okay.
It was just okay. It wasn't anything great.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're I'll say they're solid movies. Like 3 is probably not my favorite one, but I think, like I said, they're solid movies. They're a good watch.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So now we're on to another one of Mark's a movie Mark likes a lot. It's 1999. Mark, can you guess?
1999.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you have to give me a bit more than the entire year. Come on, man.
It's a J horror film.
Oh God.
Is it actually a J horror movie?
Yes, it actually is.
You on?
No, Audition.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I've heard of that. I've heard nothing but good things, and something I know I need to watch.
It's Takeshi Miike's most favorite or famous movie, but it's not my favorite of his. It's good.
Okay.
But that guy's like, you should look him up, Cory. That guy's prolific. He makes like 6 movies, direct 6 movies a year.
Oh.
and they're quality movies most of the time. It's crazy.
That's good. I finally checked out The Sadness.
Oh yes.
Gosh, that was just it's just a thrill. It's just like from like 0 to like 1,000. It's so crazy.
So in other words, what you're telling me is my foray into Hasu should have been The Sadness.
For me, yeah, because it's insanity. Like it's it's crazy.
So,
It's yeah.
Corey, do you read like graphic novels or comic books or anything?
Yeah. There's a few that I've read before. So that I know that it's based off a graphic novel.
Well, it's not literally based off it because they
Mhm.
probably had to buy rights and all this sort of stuff. But
Yeah.
Gareth Ennis's Crossed series, it's
Oh,
basically a live movie version of that, which is
gotcha.
extremely explicit.
Oh
So
yeah, I'm sure it
highly
is.
recommended.
I'm sure that it was tame compared to the graphic novel. Even though I've seen a very crazy series called Lust of the Dead. I wouldn't recommend it, but it's pretty insane.
I'll have to look it up now.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, there's been like 5 sequels, but I'm telling you, it's crazy. So
Okay. I do
Okay.
like. Okay. Sorry. Go ahead, Jim.
It's okay. So on to number 17,
Mhm.
1973's masterpiece, The Exorcist.
Mm.
One of my favorite films of all time.
I know it's good, but I've never seen it.
That hurts me in my soul more than you will ever know.
When it comes to like exorcism type movie, I'm not a big fan of those.
Okay,
Even though
that's fair.
even though my cousin was like, you need to see The Conjuring and those movies, I'm like, okay. So I did enjoy those, but like those movies, like, and then she made me watch The Exorcism of Emily Rose. I'm like, I hate you. Why would you make me do this? Why? So like I stay away from those, but I know it is a classic, and I know people talk about the third one too in that one scene, which looks horrifying. But yeah, I just never got a chance to see it.
Yeah.
Mark?
All three. Well, okay. So then they did the prequels and all that.
Yeah.
But if we just take the first three, the first one is a legitimate classic. I mean, can't really talk much more about it. Everybody's talking about it. Number two is one of the worst, best, most enjoyable, horrific, terrible, fun, great, awful movies ever made. It is such a train wreck. It is freaking hilarious.
It is the best dumpster fire you will ever watch.
There you go.
Oh yeah, and part three is my favorite of the series. It is a legitimate classic too.
Agreed.
Oh, did you guys ever see Repossessed?
I
Love it.
Yes, that I actually watched and I loved it.
With
Loved
Leslie
it.
Nielsen.
Yes.
Yes. Dude, when he did Devil in a Blue Dress, I cracked up.
Yep. Agreed. So next we're on to 2007. So we're getting a little more recent. And we already talked about this one. It's Trick or Treat.
Oh, well, yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yes.
So on to number 15, we have 2017, Get Out.
Well, I enjoyed it. I know you said you didn't, but for me, because it was such a twist, because I expected it to be a comedy because it was from Jordan Peele, who from Key and Peele and Mad TV. I'm like, oh, well, this is supposed to be, some type of funny satire movie. And then when I go and watch it, I'm like, oh, this is not what I expected. And ever since then, everything he comes out with, I don't know what to really expect. And that's why I enjoy his movies. So I get why people don't like it. Like I always see both sides of certain arguments. So I get it. But for me, I enjoyed it, and I just enjoyed the message of it and things like that.
Yeah, to me it felt like a retelling of the movie The Stepford Wives.
Yep.
Only I didn't connect with any of the characters at all in the film.
I thought it was an effective update of the Stepford Wives.
Okay,
and that's fair. I can see that, but I just didn't connect with the movie itself.
And I will say again, a movie that came out recently that nobody really talks about too much. That stars the daughter that brings the guy in Get Out. I don't remember what her name is.
Yeah, I know you're talking about. Yeah,
but she's in a Netflix movie called The Perfection.
I've seen that.
Amazing. That's a great film.
That was.
I love that movie, and I don't know why it doesn't get talked about more.
It's slept on. It was so good. And she's in another one coming out that looks interesting called Megan. Have you seen the trailer for that?
I just saw that, and I don't know how I feel about that yet.
I don't either, but it's interesting. But I'm like, with her dancing, I'm like, I'm creeped out, but I'm cracking up at the same time.
So Mark, if you have you seen the trailer for Megan yet?
No.
Okay, so imagine Chucky, but the same size as an 11-year-old.
Okay.
It's an android that basically goes a little mental, trying to protect the kid she's been given to.
Right.
Okay. Sounds interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting. I just don't know if it's a movie I'm going to venture out to see. It's probably something I'll wait to come out, on streaming or whatever.
Well, James Wan is directing it, and it's from the people who did Black Phone, so I'm already sold. The trailer it feels it's different. It's just I don't know how to feel about it exactly, but I'm still gonna check it out.
If it goes balls to the wall like it appears to, it's going to be a fun movie.
Oh, absolutely, I agree.
Okay, so on to number 14. We are going to 1976, the year that I was born.
Okay,
Mark, what movie do you think we're going to talk about?
76. Wow, right in the middle. Texas, no, not Texas Chainsaw. Is it?
That was 74.
Oh, 76. Give me a clue, Jim. Come on, you can't just throw a year at me.
No pigs were harmed in the making of this movie.
Dang it! Is it not Motel Hell or
No?
So mid-70s movie Pigs. That's the
plug it up.
Huh?
Plug it up.
You plug it up.
He's giving you a clue.
That's another hint, Mark. That's another hint.
I don't know. Just tell me.
It's Carrie.
Oh, okay. I don't know why I was thinking about I was thinking about that couple in the hotel where that dude was wearing a pig mask.
That's Motel Hell.
Okay, all right. Yeah, that's what I thought it was. Carrie though. Yeah, that we talked about it. It's classic. Yeah, that's classic.
Jim's
I hate it.
So I understand.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. What?
Oh Lord.
What did Mark just say?
I couldn't hear him. I know it was something bad, probably.
I just said Jim's hints aren't all that helpful sometimes.
Oh, okay.
Well, I can't just give it to you.
Well, now you can.
But
anyway, it's a classic. It's a great movie. So on to number 13. This is 1984, and Mark, it's my favorite movie. One of my favorite movies. Yes, Nightmare on Elm Street.
Awesome movie. That's actually my birth year. So there you go. Yeah.
Now
we're gonna move. What did you think, Mark? Well, you're not a slasher fan, so.
I don't think we can talk about Nightmare on Elm Street any more than Exorcist. Yeah, it's a classic.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, and did you see? The main character says she wants another shot at Freddy.
Yep, we did. We talked about that before we started recording. Right before you joined, we were talking about it.
I thought, hey, I'd love to see it.
I would too.
Yeah.
So we are now up to 2009, number 12. 2009, Jennifer's Body.
Not seen it.
Me either.
I saw it. It wasn't bad. The director's cut or the unrated cut is better. It just, I think, they talked about how, it was marketed wrong and things like that, but it wasn't bad. It's a good watch. I'll just say that.
Okay. That's fair.
Yeah.
So we are moving on to number 11. It's 2019's. I always considered it a take on Cube based on the picture, but it's Escape Room.
I never saw it. I heard good things, but I never got a chance to watch it.
It's just okay for me. Like it was a fun movie to watch, but it wasn't anything fantastic.
Okay.
So this was directed by Adam Robital, who did what movie were we talking about last week? Taking of Deborah Logan.
Oh yes.
So that is a wonderfully underrated movie. I thought Escape Room was fun. Kind of saw, mixed with escape rooms. But yeah, I enjoyed it. The sequel wasn't better than it.
I forgot that there was a sequel.
Yeah, I haven't watched the sequel, so
it's all right. It's worth a watch, but the first one's better.
Gotcha.
So next up, we have 2019's very divisive movie, Midsummer.
Never got a chance to watch that.
Me either.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Well, it sounds like he watched it.
So I've got this long running thing with Jeff on the Facebook group.
Oh, okay.
He loves Midsummer. I think it's a big, boring piece of shit.
Well, see, movies that I'm not interested in, I'll watch the kill count for, and it seemed okay. I know it's from the same dude who did Hereditary, which I did see, but I just didn't. I want to see Midsummer. I just wasn't interested in seeing it.
I think Hereditary is a modern day absolute classic, which is weird because I think Midsummer is so terribly bad.
Yeah, I hear mixed things about Midsummer, so it's one of those things where I just don't have an interest in seeing it.
You're better off just watching The Wicker Man, the original.
And that's why I didn't watch it, because I got Wicker Man vibes, and I was never a fan of Wicker Man.
I guess the vibe I got too, even though I never saw. I know what happens in the old school Wicker Man. The new one I know is complete crap, but the older one I know. That's what it felt like, even though I never seen it. So I'm like, yeah, I don't want to waste my time with that.
The original one is weird. I mean, there's very few. I mean, to say it's horror, it is horror, but
right.
There's musical numbers in it.
Oh wow,
you might like it. But yeah, it's very different. And if you want if you just want to have a good time, and turn your brain off, just watch the remake with Nicolas Cage, because it's
I heard that was just
it's
nonsense and insanity, but yeah,
it's again another so bad it's hilarious. So.
Gotcha.
So coming up, number 9, we have a rarity for Mark and myself. We both actually enjoyed this movie.
Oh,
it is 2017's Happy Death Day.
Yep.
Okay. Saw it. I mean, I didn't see it, but I know what happens, and it seems really interesting. That's just interesting concept. So my cousin loved it. I mean, her usually on the same page. So
it's a fun movie.
It's just kind of think of it like I kind of put these sort of movies and like Freaky. I don't know if you've seen Freaky.
Oh, I love Freaky.
Yeah, kind of in that Final Destination type movie genre.
Gotcha.
It's just fun. Things happen. You don't think about it too much, and it keeps you attention. So
yeah, I loved Freaky. I sat down and watched that, and that one was awesome.
Yeah, it was. So next up, we have 2019 Jordan Peele's movie Us.
I enjoyed Us. I just I figured out the twist like as soon as it happened, but I still was able to enjoy it though. I really did. I liked it.
Mark,
I started it one day and I never ended up finishing it. I really I something happened, like I don't know. I got distracted and I turned it off, but I'll have to get back to it.
So I've never seen Us. I will say that I do like the main actress Lupita Nyong'o.
Yes, she does a fantastic job.
She has another movie that I absolutely adored called Little Monsters.
I heard about that. Yeah, that's a musical too, right?
No.
Oh, it's not a musical. Okay.
She sings, but just to try and keep kids calm. Like it's actually part of the storyline.
Gotcha.
But it is a bizarre movie, but it is so much fun.
Gotcha.
Okay, so next up, we have a movie that we already know Corey likes. 2012's Sinister.
Yeah.
The best thing about Sinister was the home movies.
Mm-hmm.
It's still a good movie overall, but those were the highlights for me.
But him popping out of nowhere though, it got me every time. Like, doggone it. And like sometimes I knew it was coming. Still, just his face popping into the screen like that was it was insane. But yeah, I enjoyed it.
And that's Scott Derrickson, right? Who did The Exorcism of Emily Rose, recently Black Phone, and
Yeah.
first Doctor Strange movie too.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fair. So now we're on to number 6. Mark, you'll be happy to know that this movie actually takes place on Halloween. It is 1993's cult classic, Hocus Pocus.
Okay. I prefer Ernest Scared Stupid.
I'm sorry for you.
No, I do.
I'm kidding.
I just do.
I'm kidding.
Hocus Pocus is okay. Like I watched several times as a kid, and I get the people like it so much. But yeah, I prefer Ernest Scared Stupid over that to me.
I've never been a fan of the Ernest movies ever.
Really?
So,
Wow.
no, none of them.
Okay.
But Disney's Hocus Pocus, I absolutely adore. I think it's a cute movie. It's fun.
Yeah.
And I love Bette Midler. Like anything she's ever in, I absolutely adore.
Yeah, you and my mom will get along great because she loves her too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I can see that, Corey. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, the sequel was watchable, but yeah, because, they try to do the nostalgia thing. And I know a lot of my friends liked it, but yeah, it's just an okay movie.
Yeah. I mean, the sequel was exactly what it was exactly what it was ever going to be. It's all fan service. That's the only reason that movie was made. And it did its job.
Yeah, it did.
So, Mark, I know you've never seen Hocus Pocus, right?
Nope.
You're lucky. They showed it to us at school, and I took a nap. Like I just did not want to watch it.
The funny thing about this movie, though, is when it was released, it was a box office bomb because they pushed it to be released in June or July, so that it didn't interfere with another movie that was coming out around Halloween. I don't remember what movie it was now, though.
Probably Halloween.
and it bombed. So
yeah. That's crazy. I didn't. But the thing is what's crazy is that there's a lot of movies like that bombed, but then they have a resurgence and they just because I think Rocky Horror was a bomb too.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I think
that was the definition of a cult classic, right? So
and they just now they sell out theaters like every time they show it.
Yeah. But I don't know. I have lots of love for both of those movies. So
I get it because there's some movies that people are trash, but when you watch, you're like, I love this movie. What are you talking about? Get out my face. So I get it.
It's fair. It's fair.
Yeah.
So next, we're moving up to number 5. We're in our top 5 now. 2013's The Purge.
Huh.
Although I don't think it belongs on the list, I think it's the best movie in that series.
The first one?
Yep.
Yeah, I would agree.
Just because it's more home invasion horror, and
right.
I like the kind of the action, and I like Frank Grillo. Some of the other ones, just because I'm more, I look at that and think, okay, well, this should be a horror series, and I guess in certain ways, not explicitly horror, but social horror. But I just prefer the first one because it is just like home invasion.
I get that. I get where you guys are coming from. With me, it's just the son just pissed me off so much. Just so much to the point where it just kind of took me out of the movies. But for me, the movies tend to get better as they, continue, for me at least. But the home invasion thing, I definitely get. And that lead dude was very creepy.
I know, Corey, your favorite child actor is the kid from Babadook. Is that correct?
No, I want to kick that little dude through a field goal post. I hated him.
I never wanted a child in a movie to die more than I did the kid in the Babadook.
Here's my counterpoint, though. That kid is supposed to be annoying.
I know. Well, yeah, there's a lot of people. Yeah, I get that, because that's their job to annoy the audience. But it's like at the same time, I hate stuff like that. Like kids doing annoying crap in movies. Yeah, I hate it so much.
Agreed.
Yeah. Tim, next.
So, number 4. We've already talked about this movie. It's 2019's Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Okay.
Sure.
So now we're going to move on to number 3, which is the 2021 movie Candyman. I haven't seen it, so I don't have an opinion yet.
Yeah, I saw it. I wouldn't say it's scary, but it's very atmospheric and creepy. Like the music and the tone of it is just so good,
Okay.
and the story is well is good too. It's not, I wouldn't consider it scary, but there is just such great moments in it. Like I enjoyed it. And like the shadow puppets thing is so awesome. What they decided to do with that. So yeah, I can see that. I can see that. It just was for me. I've been thinking scary and things like that, but it wasn't really scary. But it was a good movie to watch for me.
It was the best Candyman movie since the original.
I agree.
That's a pretty. I'm not gonna lie. That's a pretty low bar considering.
No,
I mean, the first is a great movie.
The first one is an absolute 100% classic.
Mm-hmm.
The second one's all right, and then it rapidly goes downhill. But
Yeah.
I thought this one had, again, sort of updated, kind of like Get Out. You got more commentary on like gentrification and things like that. And the whole "Say His Name" poster thing I thought was amazing because it's a callback to the original, but it's also super relevant now.
Right.
I thought as a movie overall, I did like the atmospherics. I did like the acting in it. But
Absolutely.
What disappointed me was that most of the kills were off screen.
Yeah, that is true. But I think, people were it brought back that whole fear of going into a mirror and actually saying his name again for a few months. People were like, should we do this? Should we like I do like that it brought that back, that people were kind of trying to do stuff like that. But yeah, I get your point with that. Like there was like a lot of off-screen kills, and I'm like, come on, like show us that. And there was that one dope scene where they faded out and you see the lady, and that one was a cool kill. But yeah, I agree that they really censored a lot of stuff that they could have shown.
Jim?
Okay, so number 2, Mark, I'm going to give you one word hint. I'm going to give you the year, and then I'm going to give you a one word hint. See if you can figure this out.
Jaws.
It is. No.
Oh, imagine if it was.
Oh gosh, I would have cracked up.
2018.
Oh, not Jaws.
Podcasters.
Oh, Halloween.
Yep.
And
yeah, his favorite.
Halloween.
Yeah, his favorite.
I enjoyed it. I mean, I like what they decided to do, and I love that that shot where he kills a lady, like that feels like a one shot, like you're following and things. I love that. I love the little kid. That little kid was annoying. He was funny. I liked him.
The kid and the babysitter was the best scene.
It was. It was so good. I liked a lot of things that they did with that, but so far these next two is just gonna be like, oh god, they should have just left it alone. But I was okay with that.
It wasn't so. There was nothing new or original in the movie, but it was a very fun and brutal Halloween movie.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
That sounds like the Rob Zombie Halloween movie.
Yeah, but it wasn't. But it actually
that was pure trash.
But it actually has a good story compared to Rob Zombie just throwing characters at a screen and what it feels like.
That's right.
Rob Zombie doesn't know how to write characters that don't say, "Hey, fuck you, you motherfucker," all the time.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
So, Mark, do you want to take a stab at number 1?
Halloween.
Yep. 1978.
Imagine if it was Jaws for like a top. Yeah.
It's a classic.
It is. It's a fantastic movie.
Yeah, it definitely is. I think they talked about how like before that time people would, leave their doors unlocked, but ever since that movie, it's like, no, we're locking everything now. So I get it. It just like that mask, the way he walked, and just the breathing and things like that. Yeah, I agree with that. I at least agree with that one.
Okay, very cool. So we're 2 hours now almost. We've held Cory hostage. So I think we should probably just move on to what we've watched. And,
I'm good with that.
We can release it from our podcast cage. So Cory, is there anything you watched recently you want to talk about?
It doesn't have to be horror related. Just anything that you've seen that has interested you.
foot. I don't, man. Basically, like there will be movies occasionally that I'll watch, but a lot of times I'll be on YouTube watching some stuff on there. And well, actually, I did watch a fan film of Friday the 13th. I think it was Friday the 13th, Vengeance Part 2, I think it was called.
Huh.
And it was actually really good. The acting was terrible, but they actually got people from the series to be in it. Like they got CJ Graham
Wow.
to play Jason's dad. And and they got Thomas Thomas Matthews to come back and play his character.
Really?
Yeah, he played him.
And they've done that, I think, with some like Star Trek, like fan films. They've got people from the show, to appear on it. And I mean, what a time to be alive,
right? It's so crazy. But I saw that, and I mentioned earlier, I saw the new Hellraiser like this past weekend, and it wasn't bad. Like it was really good. I think a lot of people, oh no, Pinhead's gonna be a girl, everything, but it's like, but the novel back in the day, it was kind of like that's who Pinhead was to be. So
he was
kind of androgynous.
Yeah, androgynous. That's what they said. And so I of course, I always go in things with open mind, and I think it was really good. I think it's one of the better ones in the franchise, which I know isn't saying much, but I enjoyed it. I like the way they use the different cameras and stuff like that. I mean, the lead was kind of annoying, but I like the way the Cenobites looked, or if that's how you say it. But I enjoyed that. I saw Werewolf at Midnight. That was on Disney. I thought that was really good. I like how they did that, and of course, I told you guys about Terrifier and stuff like that. But yeah, basically, I will just watch stuff on YouTube. But then, of course, I will do Netflix every now and then. But I mostly go back to watching Trailer Park Boys and stuff like that. So it's just kind of whatever I was just like in the mood for and things like that. But I try to watch. Whatever's on my, I know it's like, the Halloween season and things like that, but just kind of, whatever I'm in the mood for, I did want to check out the Hellraiser movie because that looks super interesting to me.
I've got like ADHD, and like me trying to pick a movie takes me forever. So like a lot of times I'll just put on YouTube and just watch like YouTube stuff. So
yeah. That's what I do too. Is like sometimes I know there's a lot of stuff I need to catch up on, but I'm like, this is easier. If it's not wrestling or football, it's basically whatever's on YouTube.
Have you watched? I know you're talking about the Kill Count, the Dead. Watch Sick Flicks on YouTube.
What is it called?
It's called Sick Flicks.
Oh no, I haven't heard of that.
It's really good. It's one of my favorite horror YouTube review shows.
Oh, it's a review show. Okay. Yeah. Because they have this one, it's called Kings of Horrors, what I watch. And they show a lot of indie horror movies and movies that I've never heard of. And quite a bit of them are trash, but there's some of them that are not bad. Like, it's kind of like, because I love like watching Tubi. Tubi's one of my favorite things. It's like got so much stuff to watch. And you discover a lot of stuff that is actually really good. But, but you just have to kind of, look for it,
Because that has like full moon production stuff on it, like the puppet.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, because I grew up, of course, watching the Puppet Master movie. So yeah.
Jim. Sorry,
well,
sorry, Cory. Is there anything else you want to talk about that you've watched?
Oh God, stay away from Jeepers Creepers. that new one. God, it was so bad. I downloaded it and like for free, and I was like, I want my money back. It was that bad, and I almost spent money going to the theaters and seeing it. I'm like, wow, I'm glad I didn't because it was terrible. It's one of the worst movies I've seen, honestly.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really bad.
Is this directed by Victor Salva?
No, it's a guy who I don't think has ever watched a Jeepers Creepers in his life, honestly.
Or touched a boy, I guess.
I don't know. God. I just good grief. No, it just wasn't good. Like the dude didn't even look like the creeper. He just looked like this. It just wasn't good. The story wasn't good. The acting was just terrible. I know that's saying a lot for horror movies, but it just wasn't good. And you could tell everything was basically shot with green screen. You could tell.
This cheap ass.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just not good. But yeah, I tell people, yeah, stay away from that. Just please.
Okay.
So Jim, you watched Hellraiser too, right?
I did.
Also, not Hellraiser the sequel. I mean, Hellraiser.
Correct.
Yeah.
I watched the new Hellraiser.
What are your thoughts about that?
Here are my thoughts.
And this might be spoilers, everybody.
The movie itself was mediocre. If I'm being honest, there was nothing really exciting in the movie to me. I did like the reimagining of Pinhead. I thought the actress that played the new version of Pinhead did an admirable job.
Right.
Given the material. What I did not like was the Cenobites.
Oh, you didn't? Okay.
No, their design, they tried so hard to focus on making them stylish that they all looked like they were wearing rubber suits.
Okay.
Organic. It looked fake as shit.
Is that it? Is that your review? Okay.
It's just okay. It's just
So
I say it is one of the better films in the franchise, though.
So
I don't disagree. After the second Hellraiser, it is one of the better movies.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's definitely up there because there's a lot of bad ones in that series. So.
There is.
So I'll say just off the bat, one thing that surprised me was I thought it was going to take some cues from Hellraiser 1 and Hellraiser 2, which it certainly does, but it also takes certain cues from Bloodline, Inferno, even like Hellraiser Revelation. So it's kind of like, and some of those movies aren't the best either, that like especially Revelation. But so it's interesting that they took elements from it. I thought it was very slick. I did like the score.
The score was really good.
Some subtle, or not so subtle, I guess, callbacks to the original Christopher Young score. I thought it was too long. I heard that too. Yeah, it was a little meandering at times. The main woman, Riley, I really thought her acting was great in it. It's not unusual for a Hellraiser movie to have an unlikable protagonist.
True, that is true.
I don't know that she was unlikable.
Yeah,
she wasn't relatable. Like there was like no depth to that character at all. Even though they tried to make her a deeply flawed human being, there was just I didn't feel any depth whatsoever of that character.
It's a Hellraiser movie, so unless you're going to go like the first one or number 2, where it's more intimate of a cast, right? You got fewer players going around, so you're going to have some stereotypes or whatever, but that's fine. I loved what they did with the box.
I like that.
That was interesting. Yep.
As changing the way it moved. I'm not so sure about this. Sacrifice 6 people and then you get I love that Leviathan was there from Hellraiser 2, but I don't like this kind of like it's a wish sort of thing like that. I don't know. I guess they needed that for her motivation to keep on going after it. I thought the Cenobites in general looked great close up. There wasn't much close up, and it was a lot from the distance, and they all looked kind of the same, and they didn't do anything. But I mean, those are always back, even in the original too. They're kind of background characters, including Pinhead. I thought Jamie Clayton did well in a role. I don't think it was superb. I don't think it was terrible, but that sort of role you have to go with the writing, and I don't really think they gave her much to do.
Agreed.
Yep, go ahead.
The thing is, though, I think they did it based off kind of like how the first Hellraiser was. Like, you don't really see Pinhead to like 1/3 of the movie. So I think that's what they were trying to do, is like trying to build up suspense, and then, hey, here's Pinhead. So I get, why we didn't really get a chance to see him and things like that. So I understood. But yeah, I agree with you guys. You guys are saying about, the characters and like that. Yeah, the main character, she was quite annoying, and she made wrong choices and wrong decisions. Like, what are you doing? But there was some good twists in there, with the boyfriend actually like trying to help the main bad guy. I really didn't see that coming. Like, so I was like, holy crap. So there was some good things when it came to that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, not to detract from the movie itself, it was there were some good parts.
Right.
Yeah.
And again, it goes to my point. If you cut 30 minutes off that movie, it would be much tighter. And
Right. Okay.
It would have been a better experience, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
I did like the actor who played like the main antagonist guy, and I love that he had like his nerves in this machine. That was very cool.
That actor is I've not seen him give a bad performance ever.
Yeah. Was it Gore or something?
Goran Vinzik, or I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
Yeah, he's a great actor. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they kind of did the parallel with him and Chenard for part 2, but Chenard got a much bigger role in part 2. I wish he had a similar bigger role in it at the start and not just kind of being this kind of like almost like a Bond villain at the end, which like I don't know if you need that. But overall, it doesn't have the same transgressive, the S&M and the cheating people and stuff that the first one did, and that's fine.
I'm glad they decided to take an alternate route and not do like a direct reboot. I give them props for that.
And I did think that some, like, they didn't have a lot of the torture scenes, and you don't need to. Again, the first didn't really, or the second only took second had a bit more. But what they did was, like, whenever they got that girl that had nothing to do with it, that she was just going down the corridor.
Yeah.
And she was sticking the pin right through her throat and stuff. And you're like, feel really bad for her because, like, she's just trying to help her. That's the other
feel bad for her,
That's the other thing that I did like about it, because after part 4, you got Pinhead being this moral judge. Oh, you're cheated on your husband, so I must punish you. It's like, no, I don't need that. I want Pinhead to be amoral. Right. I want him just to say this is about experience. You open the box, so you're going to get an experience. You're not going to like it, but some people might. So, I gave it like a 7 out of 10. If I read it.
Okay. So you want me to keep going with other stuff I've seen and watched? Okay. So the second thing I saw was I watched X finally.
Oh.
Did you enjoy it?
No spoilers.
So no spoilers. There are a lot of things that I thought were well done. There are a lot of interesting cinematic throwbacks to the 70s. Like, it's very evident through most of this movie that Ty West was very, how do I put this politely? Very highly inspired by the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Like from the scenery and the visuals and stuff. But I don't know. I don't understand the hype around this movie at all.
Was it boring?
It wasn't boring, but I was very, very dissatisfied with the third act of this movie.
Because that's been my problem with Ty West movies in the past, apart from one.
Like, just when you think all hell should be breaking loose, it's not speeding up at all. And that was the part that that really threw me off for the most of it. It's not a terrible movie. The other thing is, well, I can't do any spoilers, so I can't tell you the other thing that bothered me about it. But Mark, we'll discuss that after you've seen it.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So next, I also watched The Midnight Club.
Oh, how was that?
I enjoyed it. I thought it was really well done, and I got to be honest, I loved seeing Heather Langenkamp on the screen that much. She was awesome as the doctor. The Midnight Club on Netflix.
Yeah, I've heard of that. I watched Spooky Astronauts on YouTube, and she gave like such a shining review about it. And it's Mike Flanagan, so I love most of like I loved Midnight Mass that he did.
Yeah. So this is a little different. It's sort of, this is more in the vein of Are You Afraid of the Dark, where they gather these terminally ill patients gather and tell stories to freak each other out, right? To try and live a little. but there is an overarching storyline, and to me, I enjoyed the overarching storyline more than I did the individual stories that they did per episode, because it's more about how these kids get exploited by adults. And to me, that's more terrifying than any of the stories that they told.
Okay, from what she said, that like each story there is like some truth in it, correct?
That is correct.
Okay,
Each character is telling a story, and there are
right.
certain things from their life that they're injecting into the story.
Got you. Yeah, that's something that I saw on my list. I've been meaning to watch, and because I heard nothing but good things about it. And like I said, I love Midnight Mass. That thing just freaked me out. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I can't wait to check it out.
It's really well done. I think it's worth a watch. Mark, you'd have fun watching it, I think.
Yeah, Mike Flanagan is somebody who I generally like.
Yeah.
What was one I didn't like? The haunting one that he did.
Oh, the Haunting of Bly Manor.
I could not get into that one.
Yeah,
Okay.
I didn't. I saw 2 episodes and just gave up.
Midnight Mass, I thought was more engaging because the characters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
God, it was really good. It kept my attention, and no spoilers, but I was shocked at, I'll say, certain points that I was like, holy crap.
Yeah.
So then, I also, like Cory, watched Werewolf by Night, which is on Disney Plus.
Watch it.
So no spoilers, but I thought it was really well done. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, I liked it a lot.
Them using black and white was so smart, and like I said, no spoilers, but it was smart them using that for certain scenes, because I was like, I don't know how they're gonna get away with this, but yeah, that being in black and white was really good, and I enjoyed it. I was surprised. Like I was when I saw the trailer kind of skeptical about, but when I watched it, I'm like, wow, this is really dope. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So that's everything I watched. I do have 2 audiobooks that I listened to this week. One that I'm currently listening to is The Child Thief by Brahm. And Mark, I don't know if you remember the book Lost Gods I talked about before that I sent you the cover of.
Yep.
It's by the same author, and it's just as engaging. It's a retelling of the Peter Pan story. And it's just as dark and deeply twisted as his other book, Lost Gods. So it's really good if you like audiobooks.
Wow.
The other book that I listened to was Head Full of Ghosts by Paul Tremblay. So last week, Cory, I talked about another book that Paul Tremblay wrote called Cabin at the End of the World, which is now going to become M. Night Shyamalan's new movie, A Knock at the Cabin.
Oh, okay.
And I did not connect with the book at all. I found it boring and I didn't enjoy it at all. However, I did give this one a shot because I've heard such great things about it, and I got to say it was amazing. So Head Full of Ghosts is a woman telling a story about her sister's possession experience. She's being interviewed 11 years after the fact, and there's a lot of different twists and turns. I'm not going to spoil it, but if you have any desire, I love the fact that it examines and it leaves unanswered the question, was she really possessed?
Okay.
I love that fact that they never solve that for you. And through other parts of the story, you make your own assumptions. And it was just a really, really engaging and fun, not fun, but intriguing story to listen to.
Nice.
I have nothing but strong, kind words to say about that book.
And I think sometimes, Cory, I don't know if you like listen to audiobooks. It's so weird that the reader has such an effect on the material, and it's almost like it's almost like acting. Well, it is acting, but it's a different medium from reading a book, and it's just in your head, and somebody's kind of emoting through it. And sometimes you get a book that you like, and you just hate the reader. It's just I can't listen to this. And sometimes you get a book that you don't think you're going to make it through all the way, but it's a really engaging reader. So it's just interesting.
So believe it or not, that's how I got through the Dark Tower series. I tried reading the books and I just could not get into them. And then I picked up the audiobooks and I listen to them voraciously. It was great. The narrator made such a difference.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I saw the movie, but never got a chance to read the book. So
The movie is a mashup of the first 2.5 books.
that's what I heard. It was a mashup, though. Yeah, so I can. It was an okay movie, but I see why people have problems with it.
Yeah, it wasn't cohesive what they tried to do. It didn't make sense, and
Right.
it destroyed the source material.
Oh yeah,
I think
that's
if they would have given it the full treatment and let Idris Elba play the gunslinger and done justice to the story and made it the epic it should be,
yeah.
he would do a fantastic job. But
I
the
agree.
material
Yeah.
that they gave him, it was just awful.
Yeah, I hate when they do stuff like that, you know. But in certain cases, I get why they don't add certain things to it, but don't like completely annihilate it, you know, for because it just and it didn't really translate to me on screen, honestly.
Yeah, exactly. I completely agree. Mark, your turn.
Okay. So I'm all caught up with House of the Dragon.
Ah, yes, I forgot. I'm watching that too.
So, I mean, there's so much to like about this, but it's so weird. So,
Yeah.
Corey, I don't know about you. Like, you're so
No, I get it.
No, you're so used to watching like Game of Thrones, for example.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's linear, and it's just like, okay, it might be a week later, but this
Right.
one, it's like, oh, it's 10 years later, and then the next episode, it's 6 years later.
Yeah, the time jumps.
It's so weird because you think, what have they been doing? You know, because it plays off like nothing really has really happened so much.
Yeah.
Like, important during the time jumps.
Until this point that you're watching now, here's the interesting stuff. So yeah, I get where you're coming from.
Right, and I was looking at something. It was like a meme online or something, and apparently, Rhaenyra, Damon's grandson is.
Third Eye Raven.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
That's insane, but it makes sense. And I think how funny it was, how taboo it was for for Jamie and his sister to hook up, but everyone is so for Renee and her uncle to do it. Everyone's like, yeah, they're related. What are you talking about?
Wait, which, you know, I mean, if you look at royal families, that was common practice because.
Well, yeah, it was. It's just like everyone's their uncles, brothers, cousins. It's so weird, but
the blue blood or the royal blood within the family.
Yeah, it's insane, but it's like the thing is though that was the norm back then, you know. But yeah, people were so like they hated Jamie but not, this is just it's Alabama basically over there.
So let me ask this question.
No. Hang on, Corey. No. It is not because they allow abortions in the House of Dragon.
Sorry, it's Kentucky. Go ahead. What's your question?
So, do you think there would have been a difference in the accepting of Jamie and Cersei's relationship had they been likable characters?
Maybe. I think possibly because I mean people may in love with Damon even though he's done a lot of shady stuff, you know. So it's hell, but I honestly I think maybe if they were likable and they didn't push Brown out the window and Cersei just being Cersei, if they were more likable, it's possible. Yeah.
Jim, do you mean the audience or do you mean the in-world characters?
The audience.
I mean, Jamie had a redemption arc, which they fucked up at the end.
Yeah, they did. But he did have. I love to that
Cersei
point. I loved him
all the way through.
Yeah, well, Cersei, I don't know, with her whole character evolution, she was horrible.
Yeah.
Then you had sympathy for her, and then she was just kind of there.
Yeah, well.
I never had empathy for her. I wanted her to get eaten by a dragon. And I didn't get that. She got a building crashed out. I'm like, seriously?
I was so pissed at the way she died. I hated it.
Let's have a rule on this podcast. Let's never, ever, ever talk about the last 2 seasons of Game of Thrones because I'm very, very angry about how they ruin what was the best show ever made. I think.
Honestly,
Okay, that's
I feel like if they would have ended it where Ari the icing dude, I would have been happy. For me at least. That
John
episode was really good.
Jon Snow should have killed the Night King. That's what they were leading up to. Yeah, that's what they were leading up to all the way through, like the hard helm thing, and John seeing the Night King raising all the dead people.
I would have preferred that. Yeah.
Yeah, Winter Coming actually killed that series. When it finally showed up, it killed that series.
It's weird to think that the blade that Viserys has is the same one that is in Game of Thrones that she used to kill the Night King.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, that is interesting. But those last 2 seasons is like, wow. Like, potential was there. It's just they just dropped the ball and they just like, well, they just blame they try to blame it on the fans, whatever. It's like, well, you think you can do better? I'm like, yeah.
So I watched the series. Like I kind of caught up with the series late, and so I watched it, and there was a 2-year gap between like 6 or 7 or whatever.
Yeah.
Watched it, and you can see there's a little drop off in quality towards, but I'm still super excited. I cannot go back and watch. I would love to go back and watch them again, but I can't because they ruined all the characters in those last 2 seasons.
After, I think it was Jon Snow when he got stabbed in the snow, spoiler alert, whatever. I think he wrote to that point, but he never wrote any more books. So they were just kind of going off by whatever, right?
No idea what they were doing.
Right. So they just kind of did whatever. And, and that's kind of, I think that's where that drop off happened. It's just like, yeah, everyone was shocked, but what was so crazy is it was that time period of like, he's still alive or he's coming back. And people were just trying to figure out like, oh, the fire ice thing and all this, and that was a huge thing. And when he did come back, yeah, it was great. But it's just like the series just had that drop off,
So go ahead, Mark.
Here's Jon Snow in the last, I think, 3 seasons of Game of Thrones. Hey, Jon, do you want a coffee? I don't want it. Hey, Jon, do you want to be king? I don't want it. Hey, Jon, do you want to do anything? I don't want. Like they just ruined his character. He just became such a freaking idiot.
I say to the point where the Battle of the Bastards, like I did love that.
Favorite episode.
Yes,
Ramsay Bolton was the best villain.
Yeah, he was. God, you just hated him.
Every piece of my being, and I love that actor.
He's a good actor.
He was amazing.
Yeah, I love that show. Yeah,
what a dick.
The Battle of the Bastards is probably the most realistic depiction of how some battles were fought then, where it was just everybody was crushed together,
right?
Do anything, and it was just mountains of people who were fighting. And you don't really see that in movies or anything.
No, it was so good. And then once he finally got his hands on him, I was like, yes, I love that part. Yeah, it was such a dope episode. One of my favorites. Yeah. And I think after that was just, it's just like, it was just there.
But anyway, I've been really enjoying House of Dragons.
Same.
What else have I watched? I watched on Amazon, I came across they did this episode of Borat where it's showing I don't know if you watched the last Borat movie where it was lockdown and he was in character and he was locked down with 2 right-wing Republican
guys.
Yeah. And
it was basically 30 minutes of more of their interactions. And it's so weird, it makes me wonder, what's real and what's not, because these guys were conspiracy theory, total lunatic right-wing crazies, but they accepted this guy. No, he's a white guy, but he's still a foreign guy into their house for a week, and they let him do crazy stuff around them. So, I mean, they came across as nice in certain things and then just wackadoo on other things. But anyway, it was an interesting 30-minute extra.
Yeah.
I thought the second Borat movie was nowhere near as funny as the first one.
No, it was enjoyable though.
Yep, wasn't bad, but the original Borat is one of my favorite comedy movies. So
I've only ever seen the second one.
Oh, you should watch the first one. Is much more funny.
Yeah, from what I remember, the first one was pretty hilarious.
And the last thing I can think of is I watched on Shudder a found footage movie called Deadstream.
How was that? I just heard about that this week, and I've been wanting to put it on.
So the makers of Deadstream obviously have a lot of love for the first two Evil Dead movies,
which I've heard.
Okay.
Now, is it wholly successful? No, not really. But is it worth a watch? Definitely. And it's a guy who's doing his video blog. He's he kind of made his name doing crazy stuff that he's afraid of. And, so one of the things he's afraid of is going into a haunted house. But he's got the camera that's strapped to his chest that's like into his face, like from underneath and then from above. But he's kind of your Ash character where he's like this sniveling coward. And he's kind of beset by certain things in this house. And, talking about the kill count, they even have a little reference where he's kind of almost in that same sort of studio, like doing a little bit. But this one was decently acted. This guy screams a lot, so I don't know, Babadook style. I don't know people's tolerance for that, but overall, it was pretty funny. It was pretty effective for an hour and a half. Give it a go. I'd give it a 6.5 out of 10.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. Oh, and I forgot. I did watch Orphan First Kill.
Ugh.
How was that?
It was different. It was something. There was a twist in there I wasn't expecting. I was like, oh, I see. So it was different. I mean, it was a good watch. I'll say that. It's not gonna, it's not gonna I see why it went straight to Paramount and whatever. Yeah, it was just an okay watch.
I turned it off after 30 minutes.
See, I found the first one, it was okay.
Mm-hmm.
It was a little predictable. I mean, but it was fine. But whenever this new one came out, like on social media, everyone was like talking about the original like it was some sort of classic. Maybe it was to them, but I just thought it was run of the mill. It was all right. So
I never saw the original.
I'll get around to this.
Yeah, I saw just out of the peak of interest because it's a prequel and like this girl is like 25 now, so it's like how the crap. So that was the main reason to watch it because of the interest. But yeah, they show the behind the scenes of like people kind of wearing like these stilt shoes around her and stuff like that. And of course, like from behind, it's like a child actor or whatever. So that just was like my interest in it. But like I'd say the story was really good. Like there was like a twist I just did not expect. Okay. And I was like, yeah, so that. I mean, like I said, it's a good movie to watch, to finish at least.
Is it a better twist than the first one? Because I kind of saw the twist in the first one coming pretty,
I don't think you'll see this one coming. If you don't know already, I don't think you'll see it coming. It's just
I will watch it then.
Yeah, it's kind of like, wow, okay. But if you look and like once, it's revealed, if you like go back and look at the clues, you'll be like, dang, I should have saw that. I should have saw that coming.
I like those sort of movies as long as
it's
right. Okay.
Okay, is that it?
That's all I got.
All right.
Okay. Well,
Jim, what do we have going on next week? Because I don't know.
Well, I'm going to Halloween Horror Nights this weekend, and then next weekend we have Spooky.
Right, and we're trying to figure out to do something at the horror convention.
I want to do something next week. Actually, next Wednesday, is it?
Oh. Okay.
But I'm trying to convince you to do it with me.
Oh God, nobody wants to see my face.
It's next Tuesday, actually. So my idea, Cory, and you can chime in, give us your opinion.
Okay.
Was I would like Mark and I to live stream our reactions to the new Halloween when it premieres on Peacock.
Oh, that'd be pretty cool if you do that. Oh God, yeah, because Mark's gonna hate it.
You are used to being behind or in front of the camera. I am
Right. I know, but I really want to see your face when a lot of the stuff is revealed, because you're just gonna hate it so much, man. Yeah, I don't want to give it away. I just know that, like, because the conversations that we had, I know you're just not gonna like it. I just want to see your face, and you're just gonna hate it.
See, just based on what Cory's saying, I'm picturing them reintroducing the fact that Laurie Strode is Michael Myers' sister.
It's not that. I mean, I wish I could tell you, because I know you have people that listen, but it's something that you're like, why did they do this? This didn't need to be here, type thing.
Oh, you mean sort of like the way they killed Karen? Like, why? Why did it go all art house when she died?
Stop trying to get information.
Yeah. And here's my thing about that. I think it would have been more impactful if they would have killed, like, the granddaughter.
I don't think so, because the granddaughter wasn't emotionally tortured by Laurie's past the way her daughter was.
Well, okay, I see your point when it comes
to that.
And
that is Laurie's ultimate failure, because Laurie spent her entire life until her daughter was taken away trying to prepare her to survive Michael Myers, and she failed.
Yeah.
No, Jim. Laurie's failure is not just buying a ticket and going to Mexico, like her granddaughter said. Why don't you just get out of here? No.
No, Laurie's. So this is probably an unpopular opinion. Right? You know, within the group of people that actually enjoy the new Halloween movies.
Yeah.
In the new Halloween movies, the monster is not Michael. In the new Halloween movies, Laurie is the problem. She keeps putting herself in front of him. Her family would have been perfectly safe if she would have minded her own fucking business.
Well, I don't know.
The real monster in the new Halloween movies is that one guy killed like 5 people 40 years ago, and everybody's fucking obsessed about it. Not like there's a school shooting or a mass murder every other day in America.
Well, I think it's honestly, it's the doctor. He's the one who put Michael on Laurie's path.
I disagree, because if she would not have gone looking for him, she would not have found him. He was not looking for her.
But everybody in these movies seem like they've watched Halloween 2, 4, 5, 6, and not just being in Halloween 1, because it was 40 years ago. So I get some people might have traumatic memories of 40 years ago, but not the entire goddamn town. And there's no mob running around going. I mean, if Jeffrey Dahmer was released now, maybe because he was big news, because he was like an actual serial killer that did weird stuff. Michael Myers stabbed a few people to death. How often does that happen today? That's like.
I mean, if Jeffrey Dahmer was walking around right now, that might be pretty amazing, considering he was killed in
no, you know what I'm saying. Like they apologize Michael Myers, and like all these doctors are so like obsessed by him, but really, he only killed a few people. Sorry, that's not anything in America. Sorry.
Right. Well, anyway, on that note,
a live reaction with me might be interesting, I guess, Cory, because
it could be, because we could just be laughing at each other or yelling at each other.
Yeah, I want it to be a successful movie, and I want to like it. But just the last two, it doesn't fill me with hope.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that, like, I heard a rumor about, like, that this might happen. I was like, oh, okay, well, that would be. Then I watched the review that the girl I like Spooky Ash does. I like how she does reviews and stuff like that. So she talked about how like, yeah, this movie is bad, and I was like, oh no. Then she went into the spoilers of it, and it was exactly what they said. And I'm like, that's that doesn't work. I don't why. So yeah, I would love to see y'all's reaction to that because it's going to be something that you're not going to expect, and most likely you're not going to like.
Okay.
Jim, has that got your hopes up?
I mean, honestly, after Halloween Kills, I don't have many hopes.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm still gonna see it tomorrow because I just because me and my friend, we were planning on seeing. I'm still gonna see it. I'm just because I want to see how all this is executed. I'm just kind of like, wow, they're actually gonna do this. So yeah, and of course, like I want to see how it ends because it's like they say this is it for at least Jamie Lee Curtis's character. So I want to see how that happens. But it's like I don't know. It just to me, 2018, it gave me such high hopes, and now it's just kind of going on the slope, and I don't get it.
Cory, do you know how to kill a horror icon? Jim, what do you tell him?
How to kill a horror
icon?
The movie has to bomb.
Low box office ratings. That's the only way to kill Michael Myers. It's not Laurie. It's not anybody else. It's just nobody's seeing it. But unfortunately, I'm part of the same crowd that it's just brand recognition, and I'll want to see how it ends, and then I'll complain about it. It's terrible. But I always walk into a movie hoping for the best. I
do too. I mean, I may, even though I know what happens, I hope I enjoy it still. But how it was explained, I'm like, oh boy, But I'm hoping that it's still, good. But yeah, and you guys might enjoy it. You never know.
Hopefully.
I'm not going to enjoy this film unless they're both dead at the end. If they're not both dead, it's going to be a waste of a film for me.
Jim, what if they both get married at the end?
It's going to be garbage.
What do you mean? That's a happy ending. Don't you like happy endings?
Mark?
Hey, I'm staying out of this because, no spoilers. So,
Oh, I forgot. For some reason, I was thinking it was the 17th that it came out, but it's actually Friday, Mark.
Yeah, no, I know.
I didn't. I was a week off.
Yeah, I'm going tomorrow to see it.
Oh, you're going to the movie theater?
Yeah, I'm going to the movie theater to see it, yeah.
You are a glutton for punishment, Cory.
So what do you think, Mark? Friday? You got 2 hours for us?
I got a Regal pass, so I don't really spend that much money. So
well, that's good. I've got like an AMC sort of thing.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So
okay.
The same thing for AMC up here too.
Okay, yeah. So it's just $2 for RPX. I'm good.
And if Regal or AMC would like to sponsor this podcast,
oh heck yeah, please
reach out. Please reach out.
100%.
Please, I love both of those, Regal and AMC. Those are my favorites. So yeah.
Anyway, Cory, thank you so much for your time. It's been a pleasure.
No problem. Had a great time.
Wrap this up, Jim, right?
Yeah, Cory, again, thank you very much. I apologize for having to put up with Mark for this long.
No,
but I really enjoyed your company. Thank you.
No problem. This is a ball, and anytime you guys want me to come back, I'd love to do this again.
Absolutely.
You're welcome back whenever Mark says it's okay, because he's the boss. He's the one that does the work.
He's okay with me.
Okay.
All right, guys.
Okay, guys. Thank you very much.